attacking, toss out, Reed all alone, rimming out on the tray. Randall, bully ball! He said, give me that.
Smith twists in toward Bryant, and Thomas knocked it away. Mitchell on the run, off the Hunter! Oh, throws it down, a vicious dunk.
Landale, corner three. Yes, sir! Jacques Landale! Timeout, Minnesota.
Donovan once more gets loose and hammers it home.
All right, a Thursday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. The next 4 hours we've got you. We'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs coming up at 11:45. It'll be Coordinator Day along with Chris Jones, Dave Tobe, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, and, of course, as we said, Chris Jones will be at the podium today. Sports or leisure today in the 1 o'clock hour, giving away $25 to Johnny's Tavern. And coming up at 11 o'clock, we will talk with Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast, get his thoughts on these final 3 games for the Kansas City Chiefs, what he would like to see happen in these 3 games, besides 3 losses, although I don't know if that's the case. Maybe he wants them to go out there and win, and potential moves he would like to see them make once we get to the offseason, official offseason, which is a couple weeks away. Once we get there. Not the official offseason of the NFL, but you get the point. We'll talk with Matt Lane coming up at 11 o'clock. We will hear from Eli Drinkwitz on the state of college football. You know, it's sick. And he means like, oh, it's badass, dude. It's so sick. Dude, college football right now is like sick, dude.
I'm ill.
It is so
not sick.
Yeah, these players have a license to ill, dude. It is so it is so sick, man. I mean, just gnarly is what it is. It's a gnarly college football climate right now, man.
I assume that's what he means.
Yeah. What else would he mean? I mean, that's what it means.
We are in the 90s in New Jersey, so yeah, I assume this is what he's talking about.
100%. So we'll do that coming up here in the show. 913-912-4810 is the text line to join us. 913-912-4810. Text line to be a part of the show, part of the conversation. So what I wanted to talk about is, you know, with Patrick Mahomes going down and the Chiefs being eliminated, mainly the Chiefs being eliminated.
Yeah.
So even if Mahomes did not get injured, the Chiefs being eliminated, the conversations that have taken place nationally about, well, here's what the Chiefs need to do, here's what they have to do, here's the issue that they will run into with the fact that they are currently $34 million over the cap. So the Chiefs are in one of the worst positions heading into the offseason in what is an absolutely crucial, vital, important, fork-in-the-road feeling type offseason for this team. There have been a couple of these. A few, actually. After the 2018 season, when they lost in the AFC Championship game to the Patriots, revamped the defense. After losing to the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, revamped the offensive line. After losing to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, revamped the defense. Draft picks, a lot of those, but also wanting to get faster, wanting to get more athletic, better tackling. Because in that Bengals game in the AFC Championship, we can talk about what we saw offensively, but that defense was slow and wasn't really interested in making tackles. And you needed to get faster, athletic, tougher, make tackles. And they went into that 2022 draft, and that's what they were getting. They were getting guys that were coming up wanting to make tackles at the cornerback spot, safety spot, linebacker, and Leo Chenal, all of those things. So we have seen different off seasons where the Chiefs have sort of felt like this was a more important one. We talked about it last year, last off season, that this was a big off season for the Chiefs. And it feels like every year we can talk about those things. Some of them more exaggerated than others. And I think this offseason is honestly maybe the most important offseason we've seen since Patrick Mahomes has been the quarterback.
And we've said this a couple times, but I don't think it doesn't make it true. This clearly is the most important offseason we have seen, even since maybe Veach has taken over. You know, the Tyreek Hill one was the one we talked about a lot at the time.
And we didn't even know going into it that they were going to trade Tyreek, you know?
But then it worked.
Yeah.
But then it worked. And this is one where you have that feeling of, okay, all the other ones we had talked about being a massive offseason, for the most part, we can talk about the players that have not panned out, but when you'd gone to 3 straight Super Bowls, you can say, well, it worked. It's tough to find some fatal flaw when you get your, belt to ass in the Super Bowl, but you still made the Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. It's still hard to be like, yeah, you lost that previous offseason.
For another month and a half, they're still the AFC champions.
Correct. And so
enjoy it while you can right now.
And so for me, this clearly is the biggest offseason for Brett Veach, and maybe it's the one that I have the most concern about as well, because I don't think it's just player related. Like, I do think there's
Good
some
call.
This is the first time I think the scheme has to change, and there has to be a willingness to evolve and adjust. And that's not just Veach saying, okay, we need to get this guy in here, we need to draft this guy, we need the Chiefs to have a running back and a pass rusher, but also how do they fit into this particular team?
100%. I think that's a great point on the field and also on the sideline of what they need to do to adjust some things. Because when you miss the playoffs, and let's be real here, and I think everybody acknowledges this, they didn't miss the playoffs because Mahomes got injured. We've talked about, boy, if this, call it naivety, call it false bravado, arrogance, confidence, whatever. But we've talked about, well, if this team misses the playoffs, then something pretty bad happened to the wrong position. Knock on wood, I don't want that to happen. But that's not what took place. This team missed the playoffs with a healthy Mahomes all year. Except for one drive in which he got injured, down by 3, in a game they had to win. You still had to kick the field goal and then win in overtime to even stay alive to this point. And it doesn't mean they would knock off the Broncos a week from today if Mahomes were healthy. So this was a season that I think was an eye-opener for everybody, for those a part of the kingdom, for those that are analyzing the team, and I think for those in the building that, hey, we're going to make the playoffs every year as long as we got 15. And we'll fill in some ancillary parts, but we've got a chance every time we get in the tournament. If we make the playoffs, we got a chance because we got 15, and we're winners. All right, that's what we do. We win games, okay? We've got an advantage on the coaching staff. We've got an advantage at quarterback, and that's the main thing you need when you go into the playoffs. And we're always going to be there as long as 15 is healthy. But this is an eye-opener because 15 was healthy, and they didn't get there. And so this should be everybody looks in the mirror and figures out what happened, what went wrong. Was there an erosion of a couple of years? Was it one off season? I think also acknowledging there's some luck that goes into these losses. But even if a ball had bounced their way one way, yes.
Let's say variance
like
instead
that.
of luck. Because
I like that.
I like variance.
Yeah, variance, luck. Potato, I think at times. But yes, last year, if they were winning, and we said it was because they knew how to win, and this year they're not. So last year it can't be skill, and this year luck. So I get that point. This year it's bad luck. Last year was skill. They just knew how to win. This year, bad luck, man. Just bad luck.
I like the mathematical outcome of variance. It makes it sound.
I like it. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of noise that goes into these games when you win or you lose. And over the last 2 years, it probably evened out in these one-score games of those you should have won and should have lost. Take the 2 years combined, and it's like, okay, that's kind of what your record should have been along the way. Close to that, especially for a team that has 15 and has the coaching staff. You're probably going to be above 500 in these close games. They were 12-0 last year. They are, 1-6 this year?
So they were 15-2 last year. And just in general, think of this. They were 15-2 last year. Add 6 wins, they're 21. So they went 21-10. Now you can take out one game because they didn't play that final game against the Broncos.
So 21-9.
21-9.
Yeah, roughly what they would be.
Ish.
And look at the one-score games, 12-0 last year, 1-6 this year. So you're 13-6 in one-score games. You're like, oh, you're not 12-0, but You're going to be better than 500 because you've got 15 and you've got the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Probably even a little bit better being 12-6 or 13-6 in these last 2 years. Probably even better than what you probably should be. So is there variance that goes along with it? Yes, absolutely, no doubt. But you can't rely on the variance then working back in your favor. You've got to create that variance. And if that's in the coaching staff, it's in the coaching staff. If that is on the field, certainly we all agree there's a lot of it that can happen on the field. Because no longer, and I'm loving that nationally people are picking up on the fact that it felt like the last year or two of Obi-Wan Mahomey, save us, your only hope. Go and create for us. Look, nobody's open, but look what Mahomes did. Somebody became open, and they converted. This is a team that last year, their almost entire offensive success came on third down. They were elite to the point of one of the best ever on third down efficiency. You can't rely on just, hey, go get it done on third down. Like, you can't do that. And this is a team that the Chiefs have to acknowledge that in the last 3 years, so that is 23, 24, and 25, after number one offense and MVP Patrick Mahomes in 22 and a win over the Eagles in the Super Bowl, they now lead the league these last 3 years in quarterback hits. They lead the league in drop passes the last 3 years, and they rank bottom third in rushing success rate in the last 3 years.
Wow.
Explain how they went to 2 Super Bowls. I mean, it's easily explainable, right?
It's Patrick.
15.
It's 15. It is. I do think at times it was Chris Jones late in games and big games, not like this year, but even against like Buffalo and
Kelsey in 23 was still closer to the Kelsey we've seen rather than 24 Kelsey that was sort of the bottoming out, and this year getting back to a different level.
Yeah, so I think there's some ways to explain it. I mean, how many balls have been dropped for interceptions? Now, again, you could say the same thing. I think it was in 23 with Kadarius Toney, too, so that also happened.
Detroit Lions game
the
specifically.
The Lions game stands out.
The offsides by Toney.
It also just feels like this team, past 2 years, but specifically this year, they can't make up when they have penalties. Penalties have just destroyed and I'm not trying to say it's refs. I'm saying it's Chiefs specific here. I'm saying because
imagine how bad it would be if the refs weren't on their side.
Yeah. Every game, there are bad calls against both teams, and you have to overcome. This current iteration of this Chiefs team can't overcome. We've seen it time and time again. If they get a holding call on 3rd and 2, now it's 3rd and 12, it feels like the drive has been bamboozled. Yeah. It's over.
Hoodwinked.
You've been hoodwinked. A 1st and 10 false start, you're done. You see special teams with a block in the back, and it's like, oh, man, these 12 yards are going to be brutal because you're not going to have a running back pop off a 12-yarder or even an 8-yarder most of the time.
You see an offsides, that's 42-yard penalty that the defensive tackle at the end of the game says it was a 5-yard penalty when we got off the field. That's what. Remember we got off the field?
Remember that? Yeah.
You remember we got off the field and they punted, and if I hadn't been offsides, it would have been a turnover on downs there. It's 5 yards, except it was 42 yards. You have those things that you can't overcome because you went 65 yards on that drive and kicked a field goal.
Yeah.
You would have got the ball at midfield. Going 65 yards, you're throwing a touchdown into the third row.
So, again, this team has been on a downslide offensively since 2022. I don't mean to keep harping on it, but I just think it's so true that it's the same offense from 2022.
Yeah.
The difference is defenses have adjusted, and the Chiefs had been getting away with maybe good variance, with Patrick Mahomes doing Mahomesian things. And when you keep going to and winning or even making and losing a Super Bowl, you sit back and say, why would we change? Why would we change?
Yeah.
And now they're going to be forced to have to change. And that may be the silver lining.
Time to change.
I'm going through changes. Ozzy Osbourne told us that.
Yes.
So I think that might be the silver lining of this year is there's no longer at least you made a Super Bowl. Why change? No, you 6-8 with your star. You have to change now.
And I think they also have to acknowledge that they no longer have what seemed to be a pretty decent advantage on the sideline against teams they were going up against.
Correct.
Because Sean Payton's a damn fine coach. He's won a Super Bowl. Jim Harbaugh's been to a Super Bowl and won a national championship. I don't know what the hell's going on in Vegas, but whatever. The Tennessee Titans fired Mike Vrabel for some reason. And the Patriots were smart enough to say, well, why don't we go hire a fantastic coach?
Yeah.
So they're smart. I don't know what the Bengals are going to do.
The Bills are doing it almost in spite of their coach.
Yeah. But their own division, two of those teams have said, let's get serious about who we're going out and get as a head coach. So you no longer are going up against Brandon Staley and Hackett. You know, those aren't the coaches you're going up against 4 games out of 16 or 17. And then whatever was going on with the Raiders, that's still going on with the Raiders. But you don't have those 6 games against Staley, Hackett, and then whoever was the coach of the Raiders. That was pretty nice.
The rotating cast of characters.
That was nice to have that. You knew every single game of those 6. You got a, as Charlie Weiss would say, decided schematic advantage on the coaching staff there. You don't have that anymore because, you know, I sort of laugh at, you know, people saying, you know, well, Andy Reid's system is so complicated that you can't rely on younger guys on the offense to come in and figure it out. Except for rookie year, they had to rely on Rashee Rice. And rookie year, they had to rely on Xavier Worthy. And if it is so tough for rookies to figure out, then why does every defense figure it out? Seems like the defenses know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
The defenses have figured out Andy Reid's offense. So why can't the younger guys? So, you know, if they were to go into the offseason and draft a few offensive weapons in the draft, they don't have a whole lot of draft picks, but if that was the route they took, then you shouldn't look at it and go, well, it's going to take some time for them to figure out what they need to do, you know? I hope not, because why wouldn't the coaches be adjusting to the weapons that they have? Because it's like, well, you've got this huge playbook. Do you, though? Do you? Because it seems like the other team feels like there's about 7 plays you guys run, or different variations of it. And I know there's a whole lot more, but there's a lot of tendencies that go along with that. I actually don't think the Chiefs are in as dire straits in the offseason as it is portrayed. I want to talk about that on the other side of the break. I think there are 3 simple moves the Chiefs should and will make that will flip the salary cap. And there are 4 other moves that they could make that could potentially put them in the top 10 of cap space.
Tease me, Jason.
I'm going on vacation tomorrow and you're not.
Gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's your tease. What's up next? All right, folks, don't tease me when it comes to Missouri and your moment. It's finally here. DraftKings. You know what? You can tease up some lines if you want to. You know, you can take 2, 3, 4 different lines, tease those things. You know what I mean? You can do that at DraftKings. It's finally here because America's top-rated sportsbook app, DraftKings, now live in your state. You can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more, all from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. Missouri fans know that game day, they know about it. Tailgates, noise, passion. And now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5. You get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Doesn't even matter what the bet does. You get it immediately, instantly. Any other synonym you want to use for right now. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code 810WHB. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 810WHB. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
I will continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. I want to talk about a few of those moves, but we do want to pass along some news as it comes to college football, and that is Missouri's quarterback for the Gator Bowl will be Matt Zollers.
Why, Jason?
Well, because today, about 20 minutes ago, the news came out that Bo Prabula is entering the transfer portal, and he will not play in said Gator Bowl. Not a surprise, because when Bo Prabula went down, when he got injured, and you sort of saw that there were struggles along the way this year, and Matt Zollers came in, I assumed that Bo Prabula would be transferring at that point.
Yeah.
And we talked about it on the air here that Bo Prabula would be transferring. Then Eli Drinkwitz at his coach's show said, people think, it's just going to be easy to keep, Alugbade and Zollers, Then he went back and clarified and goes, oh, don't worry, we're keeping those guys. We're going to take care of them. He didn't say we're taking care of Bo. We're taking care of Zollers.
Yeah.
So I assumed this was going to be the case. Honestly, I was hoping it would happen before the Gator Bowl so that Zollers could practice with the team and then play in the Gator Bowl, as opposed to Prabula taking first-team reps playing and then transferring, and you miss 2 weeks of practice and a game with Zollers as your QB1.
Yeah, this is about, I don't want to say best-case scenario, but this is a pretty good case for Missouri. Again, if your guy is going to transfer, you're completely correct, because now you get to see Zollers and see, is Zollers going to be the guy for next year? Do you trust him? Or, hey, we might need to pony up for another guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what went on behind the scenes, but Bo got a big chunk to come to Mizzou. I appreciate that. He was a hard worker, it seemed like. Seemed like he did a lot of the right things, but he just wasn't the guy to take the Missouri team to the next level. Because, for all the Missouri fans that had issues with Brady Cook, we all found ourselves...
That's an NFL starting quarterback, Brady Cook.
NFL starting quarterback, Brady Cook. Hey, QBU, Mizzou. I mean, there's a lot in a row.
Chance McDanielson.
Blaine Gabbert, Chase Daniel, Brad Smith, James Franklin, I think, had a cup of coffee as a backup, and then he went to the CFL.
Missing the Lee Summit boy, Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, obviously. And then now Brady
blood.
Cook. If you want to be a backup quarterback, you go to Mizzou.
Hell yeah,
That's
man.
what you do.
That's where backup quarterbacks are built, is at Mizzou.
So I appreciate him going, but it just wasn't what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Again, we thought Brady Cook almost held the team back a little bit last year or 2 years ago. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
We all respected the hell out of him, but we were just like, I don't know if he's talented enough. And then you see Bo and you go, man, I miss Brady Cook. Brady Cook would have had this team. I think I believe it. Brady Cook would have had this team at 10-2.
I would like a quarterback that is able to look at the second read before staring somebody down and then running.
Well, again,
but that was Bo Prabula's game.
Missouri fans we've been a little spoiled with the Drew Locks and Chase Daniel and Blaine Gabberts of the world. James Franklin was a very good quarterback as well. Again,
I think James Franklin's one of the most underrated Mizzou quarterbacks we've ever seen.
I would agree. I mean, Matty Mock, even to an extent, was hilarious, but I mean, he was a good quarterback. It just
he helped him win that Georgia game.
He sure did, and so. I don't know how to feel about Bo. I wouldn't have minded him coming back, but I'm sure there was something of, hey, you're not getting paid what you got paid last year.
Zollers is getting that money.
Yes, and so I think that's where it came down, my opinion, where it came down to. I find myself, I want to root for Bo because, again, I liked a lot of what he did. I liked his attitude, all that stuff. I just don't think he was good enough to take this Missouri team to that college football playoff heights.
Yeah, I'm with you. 913-912-4810. We'll actually hear from Eli Drinkwitz later on in the show, but I wanted to talk a little bit about, there are 3 moves that I think the Chiefs can make, and frankly, I think they will make, that will get them on the other side of the salary cap. So right now, they're $34 million over the cap. It's the 31st in the NFL cap situation. They are almost dead last. Here are the 3 moves that I think are easy, that can be made, and 100% will be made. They will release Jawan Taylor, that saves $20 million. I think they release Mike Dana, that saves $9 million. It's only like $1 million dead cap hit for Mike Dana, because that was kind of a 2-year deal anyway that was, an out after that. So they're going to save $9 million on Mike Dana.
So you're at 29 for those counting at home.
Patrick Mahomes and his salary cap, because of his salary and the roster bonus, all of that can be converted into a signing bonus, they could free up $43.5 million of his cap this year. Because I think after 2027 they will restructure his deal anyway, I believe they're going to do the entire chunk of that $43.5 million. I think they're going to do the entire thing, and you can spread that out, and spreading it out really doesn't matter anyway because in 2 years they're going to completely redo his contract.
So 43 plus 29, quick math, is $72 million. Yeah,
$72.5 million, which puts them $38.5 million under the cap.
So,
which puts them 23rd in the NFL. Now, other teams will make their moves too.
Yeah.
So they could slide right back to 30 or 31st when other teams make their moves and cuts and things like that. But the dire straits of their $40 million over the cap, and they've got only 37 players under contract, and they've got to sign almost 20 more people, and they're already $40 million essentially over. Well, this puts them at 35 players under contract and almost $40 million under the cap. There are 4 other moves that they can, I'm not sure they will, but they can make.
Yeah, and that's the Drew Tranquil, which, again, that money might be then allocated to Leo. And, again, there's some moving pieces there, but I'm just looking at what they've done with Patrick in the past.
Yeah.
In 2024, they converted $27 million into a signing bonus, which cleared $21.6 million of cap space. In March 12th of last year, 2025, they converted $47.75 million of that into a signing bonus, creating $38.196 million of
so
cap.
they did it almost all of last year.
So, and again, I know people see that cap hit of next year of $78 million, and they're like, well, they're screwed.
Yeah.
No, they knew going in they were not going to have a $78 million cap hit for Patrick.
I mean, I did a hit on ESPN Radio, humble brag.
Proud of you.
And they and I could have just said I did an interview somewhere.
No, you
I know.
Let it hang.
I know. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna let that also
marinate.
Yep. And they were like, going into this off season. I mean, after they were eliminated, Patrick Mahomes has a $74 million cap hit. You got this. You got they're $40 million over the cap. How do they do? Patrick Mahomes' cap hit will not be $74 million next year. It'll be right around what it is this year. And after 2027, they will redo that contract. It'll be a restructure. It'll be a redo. It'll be whatever. And they'll be looking at probably $65, $70 million per year when you get to that point for the quarterback position for Patrick Mahomes. It'll be a different ballpark that they're going to be in, a different waters that they're going to be swimming in. But that's also going to be the price of doing business because the salary cap's going to jump up to $305 this next year, and then maybe $320 after that, and then maybe $335 after that. So $70 million is a different beast at that point. So I think they will take the entire chunk of that. Now, they don't have to until after the draft because that was the restructure they did with Patrick Mahomes where he agreed instead of the second day of the new league year where they have to decide roster to signing bonus, he agreed that check will be written after the draft. So the Chiefs will see free agency and they'll see draft, and then they'll know this is the amount of money we need to get in line with the NFL when we sign our draft picks. So this is what we will do with roster bonus, signing bonus with Patrick Mahomes. Now, they may have to do it before that anyway, but that check will be written to Patrick Mahomes instead of in March. It'll be written to Patrick Mahomes in May. I don't think he cares whether they write him a $40 million check in March or May, okay? I wouldn't care. If the Chiefs said, Jason, we can't write you a $40 million check in March or you have to wait till May. Okay, great. All good. Fine with me. So I think they'll do that, and I think they'll be about $40 million under the cap. Here are the 4 other moves they can make. Now I'm on record. You mentioned Drew Tranquil. I would release Drew Tranquil and give that money to Leo Chenal.
You and I differ a little bit. I'm not ready to make that yet because I don't know what Jeffrey Bassa is. So I think sometimes we overvalue. Sometimes we overvalue the unknowns a little bit, and I think Drew Tranquil still playing at a good enough level. The issue is you can't really pay 3 linebackers on a second contract.
He's playing at a good enough level right now, but his age starts with a 3.
Correct.
So. Is there a cliff getting ready to hit for Drew Tranquil?
Hell, I was the guy that said if there was a guy that fell off a cliff this year defensively, I said it might be Drew because of the age.
Yeah,
and
right.
I was wrong. He's been fine. He's been solid.
Fine.
He's been solid.
Yeah,
solid.
But I think Leo Chenal is still an ascending player, And he will not be viewed by other teams the way the Chiefs view him because he's an off-ball linebacker that doesn't have the numbers.
Willie Gay Jr. was the same way. I remember looking that up. It was 1 year, $3 million with New Orleans. Now, I will say he also had the off-the-field issue, which maybe dampened the contract.
I think Leo Chanel's probably about $5 or $6 million per year is what I would guess, which would be still saving money if you save the $7 million for Drew Tranquill and then give that to Leo Chanel. So not even counting the Leo Chanel, just a Drew Tranquill deal. There are 3 other moves they can make with players already under contract. And this is where they have to make the decision of kicking the can down the road and how much of the medicine they want to take right now. So Chris Jones, they can save $10 million this year with Chris Jones. They could view it and say, after 2026, we can release him and save a decent amount of money against the cap.
It's about $19.5 million.
Right. Or we view this as we have 2 years left with Chris Jones, 26 and 27. And if we do that, you can save $10 million this year and changes the 2028 dead cap hit from $9 million to $19 million, but it would still save you $25 million against the cap, even by doing that.
And that seems to be, I think, a solid move because, again, that 19 we're talking about in 2028, the salary cap should have risen at least a decent amount.
It's probably going to rise more than $10 million from this offseason to 2020, the offseason to 2028 or going into 2028, where you're adding $10 million to that dead cap while giving yourself $10 million right now. So that is one thing they can do for $10 million. These are 2 other moves that I think they can make, and I think they will make. Trey Smith has his salary guaranteed this year. You can convert that to signing. And if this is where you get into the ifs of what the Eagles have done and what the Chiefs have been reluctant to do outside of Mahomes and Chris Jones and a couple of others, or even just that's it. If you convert to a signing and add a void year, or you don't even have to add a void year. Just add 1 more year to the contract. Restructure it, give him a quote-unquote contract extension. It makes it a new 4-year deal, which means he would be under contract until he's 30 years old. At 30 years old, he'd be a free agent, Trey Smith, and that would be through the 2029 season, and you would save $15 million this year. You could do the exact same thing with Creed Humphrey, convert his salary to a signing bonus, and add 1 more year to his contract. He would then have a 4-year deal starting this year. He would also be the same age as Trey Smith, same free agency year. You would add $10 million to the cap this year, which could get you another 10, 20, 25, $32 million. That gets you to $80 million under the cap.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because you are better at this than I am.
I don't know about that.
I know you are. I think I'm decent at this, but just so folks listening are all on the same page, when you do it as a signing bonus, that has to come out immediately from Clark Hunt, correct?
Yeah. I mean, the salary was going to come out this year anyway.
No, correct. But that means up front.
Agreed. So,
and we have not necessarily always seen him do that.
Agreed. And adding a void year is not something that Brett Veach has done. This would take also a commitment from, this is everybody looking at themselves in the mirror. Honestly, Clark Hunt as well. You want the city or the state to help out with the stadium. It makes it a little more palatable if you go, well, yeah, we're also going to change some of the things we do in terms of the cash that we spend on the team and some of the upfront things. Because the Patrick Mahomes thing is not saving Clark Hunt money. He's not spending more money on the Patrick Mahomes stuff. It's just a check that's going to be a roster bonus or a signing bonus. It's the same check written to Patrick Mahomes. It's just whether you change it to a roster or a signing. You're still writing that check to Patrick Mahomes. It's the same check. It's just bookkeeping, like a great accountant. Well, I can change that $10 million deficit into a $10 million profit into a $10 million deficit. Give me about 10 minutes. I can do that.
You give me $20 million, I'm just going to go take it.
Yes, exactly.
And I'll spend it.
Yeah, I'll just invest it over here, and then I'll take that money.
I'll invest it
there,
all right.
And then I'll pay that person off over there, and I don't know, Ponzi, whatever. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. I'm just saying I'm helping everybody out. Peter, Paul, robbing, paying, doesn't matter. The upfront cost would be more in the immediate as opposed to 18 weeks of paying Trey Smith the money, 18 weeks of paying Creed Humphrey the money. It would be a check that's written to Creed and Trey for signing. Or if you add the 1 year to the deal, then you can maneuver it one way or another. It doesn't mean they have to take all of that. It doesn't mean that they have to convert all of Creed Humphrey's salary into signing.
Sure.
Could be half. Trey Smith could be half. Chris Jones could be none. Right? Could be none. I mean, you could save, if you did half, it'd be about $13 million with Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey. You take the 13, add it to Tranquil, that's 20. That gets you to about $60 million under the cap, and you didn't touch Chris Jones' contract.
I think what's hard is
now, these are rough estimates.
Yes,
by the way.
of course. I'm not holding you to the
yes. This is actually straight from the NFLPA.
Decimals. Yeah.
Nope. I got on the phone with Lee Steinberg, and we worked through it last night. It was great. Katz Brothers. We worked through it last night, and they were like, hell, I don't know, man. You're probably better at this than I am, Jason.
There is still a decent amount of money to players who have really struggled this year. I mean, Harrison Butker's the highest paid kicker in football, and you're not getting out of that contract.
Oh, no.
If you cut him, it actually costs more to cut him than to keep him.
No, you got one
you're
more year
keeping
with
him.
Butker. And you're not going to restructure that deal because you don't want to take the risk that he's bad again next year, and then you've got him for 2 more years.
Noah Gray, I assume you're keeping, but that's still $7 million for a tight end that had regression this year.
Yep. And maybe, I mean, he hasn't looked right since the concussion, so maybe.
No, and I like Noah Gray overall. I mean, I'm hoping this is a blip, and we hadn't ever seen him be a guy who dropped the ball, and we saw 2 in a game. Yeah. That seems more like the outlier than the norm. So I'm trying my best to be on the optimistic side with him because we all said he might be a back end, like a top 30 tight end. Right, like that 25 to 30 range, not like a tight end one. Like if we're talking fantasy football purposes, I mean, he's no Trey McBride, but can he be a guy you can count on for 4 catches a game? Maybe. Christian Fulton's another one that's interesting because he's a $13 million cap hit, but if you cut him, that's still $8 million against.
Yeah, so it's
you're only saving 5.
You're saving 5, but also, like you said, you're saving 5, but that position that you have to sign somebody to, you're already starting at $8 million.
Yeah.
So if you sign someone, it's a league minimum deal. They just traded Christian Fulton for a league minimum guy. No, they didn't. They traded Christian Fulton and $13 million for a league minimum guy and $8 million. So you're counting even Juwan Taylor when you say, well, you're going to save $20 million against the cap, right? But that right tackle has a $7 million number on it right now for next year. So if Jalen Moore slides in and plays right tackle and his $15 million cap hit, that's a $22 million cap hit for the right tackle. It's just Jalen Moore instead of Juwan Taylor. Or if it's Esapole, it's still at that point, $7 million cap hit and league minimum, $1 million or $800,000, whatever it might be. So you still count that for that position. You're just saving cap space overall, but you still have to sign a player on your team to play that spot. You can't just cut him and say, well, there's the money that's saved and you're good. You don't have to sign anybody else. If you cut Christian Fulton, you've got to sign somebody else.
And this is why it's so important. And they're lucky that Kingsley so far looks like he's hit. Mm-hmm. Josh Simmons looks like he's hit if he's healthy and can play, because they're going to have to try and find a way. If you expect a big investment, I've seen some people say you got to invest in the offensive line. No, they have.
I disagree. with
there's
that.
not any highest paid center, highest paid guard, first round left tackle, second round left guard, a very highly paid right tackle. This is your offensive line next year. Esapole, I'm excited for. You're hoping that's your swing tackle now.
You got Pole and Jalen Moore to decide who's going to play right tackle for you, and the other 4 should be done and taken care of. And now you need to add depth pieces to act like I saw. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're
just
good.
A real quick aside. I saw a mock draft last night that had the Chiefs taking a tackle and said Brett Veach is not going to have another game in which there are undrafted free agents at the tackle position. I'm like, they had 2 different guys that were first-day picks at the tackle position. One's making $27 million cap hit. The other one was a first-round draft pick in Josh Simmons. Juwan Taylor, where was he drafted? First round? Second round?
I looked it up.
I can't remember where he was drafted, honestly. But to the Jags, and when he was drafted out of Florida, like he was a fine prospect out of Florida.
Second round.
Second round.
35th overall, so it was...
Okay, right. So, you've got essentially 2 different day 1 draft picks at tackle. And then you sign Jalen Moore in the offseason to go and be a swing tackle. Like, you can't view what happened to the Chiefs this year and go, well, they can't go into the season with undrafted free agents at tackles. Well, they won't unless Josh Simmons gets injured. I think the wrist is going to be healed by September 13th. I think it is.
Bold call, Jason.
I know. So, yeah, they're not going to. Last year, the left tackle issue was not an injury issue.
Yeah,
that was a plan.
Talent.
Yeah, that was a talent. That was a strategy of hope, which did not work out. This was an injury thing, and that sucks. But you're not going to have 4 different first-round tackles on the team just in case the first 2 get injured.
Yeah.
And so that made no sense to me on that. Like, they're going to draft a tackle. I can understand if somebody says, you want to draft the best right tackle in the draft, so the next 5 years and maybe beyond with Josh Simmons and that right tackle, that your tackles are set. You're like, as long as health, you're like the Chargers. If it's healthy, you got those guys moving forward for as long as you can imagine, 4, 5, 6 years, that's a long time. I can understand that. But to say they're going to draft a tackle and then offer the description of you're not going to have undrafted free agents playing tackle for the Chiefs if you do this, like, come on. So if you want to do that, I'm on board. If Brett Veach says at pick 13, 14, wherever they end up, we're going to take the best right tackle in the draft because number 15 is the most important player. And now we have Jalen Moore and Esapole to fill in if we have to at those spots. And we've got 5 years because we got the 5th-year option on Josh Simmons still. So we've got 4 years, I should say.
Yeah.
4 more years. 4 more years. We got 4 more years of Josh Simmons and then whoever the rookie right tackle is going to be that you drafted at 13, along with Kingsley, Creed, and Trey that are under contract. Kingsley for 2 more years, Creed and Trey for 3 more years. All right, your offensive line is set moving forward. Now figure out running back, edge, deep. You've got other things to do with maybe that money that you saved, because it could be a Boye Mafe. They tried to trade for him. That's a name. By the way, that's a name. If you want to know who the Chiefs are going to sign in free agency, it's Boye Mafe. He's going to be a Chief. They tried to trade for him at the trade deadline. He's a free agent. Seattle's not going to sign him. They're going to get Boye Mafe, and he's going to be playing opposite George Karlaftis unless they draft somebody in the top 13 or 14 that's a stud defensive end edge rusher. So I think he's going to be a Chief. I would love for John Franklin Myers of the Denver Broncos, interior defensive lineman, to be a Chief. That would be awesome. The Broncos have paid way too many defensive players. I think they're already on record as saying, kind of hinting at, well, we can't pay everybody. There's going to be some decisions we have to make, and they've got Allen, they've got other guys on the defensive line. I think John Franklin Myers is going to be a free agent. And if you want to replace Tillery with that guy and have Omar Norman Lott as a situational pass rusher like he was at Tennessee, like a Turk Wharton, and Franklin Myers is next to Chris Jones and Boye Mafe and George Karlaftis, how much better have you got for $17 million, $18 million a year combined with those guys? Because I think John Franklin Myers is going to be about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And then Mafe might be 12, 13. Although, if you get in a bidding war, he might go up to like 20 or something. It's not going to be Trey Hendrickson on the open market.
No.
It's not going to be Hassan Reddick on the open market, some of those other guys that are out there. It's not going to be that, okay? But I think the Chiefs like him a lot. So there are some moves that they can make that you immediately upgrade the defensive line without saying, we're going to go pay for Myles Garrett. We're paying $40 million for this guy. Joey Bosa could be a guy you go and get. That might cost you $14, $15 million per year. So there are some options. I just think because they tried very hard to get Boye Mafe at the trade deadline, I think that's a guy, you know why? Because he's really solid against the run. And he's got a motor that won't quit. I'm being facetious, but also serious at the same time. Uche was a pass rusher, didn't play. Just a pass rusher only, didn't play. Mafe, all-around solid defensive end, 3-down defensive end, really good against the run, offers pass rush, and a motor that won't quit. Spags is he's writing love letters to that guy. He's hanging out with Steven St. John tonight, writing love letters to that guy, a motor that won't quit and good against the run as a defensive end. Whew, give me that guy. There are some moves they can make that will be affordable to make the overall defense better without saying, go and get top-end guys. You need difference makers. You need zero sum. You need zero negative parts on the team. That may include trading Trip McDuffie, which sounds odd, but trading him for an extra pick so you can solidify the overall defense. If you keep Fulton, sign Watson, Noel Williams is there, And maybe with that first-round pick, you draft a corner. And you reset the clock there. Who knows? We'll take a timeout, come back. More Zone next.
Missouri, if you've not heard by now, you're being silly, you're being obtuse, and I think, quite frankly, you're doing this on purpose because FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me state. They are kicking things off with an offer that is phenomenal. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. I've been on a heater now. I just can't bet football, apparently. Football is my downfall. The Sterling stamp, sorry, just fade me. I have now won 6 straight non-football parlays. We're on a heater, some say. Why did I do a 16-leg parlay last night? Because I thought it'd be fun for college basketball. You know who hit the 16-leg parlay last night? This guy with 2 thumbs. Maybe I have to start posting those dumb ones because the smart ones I try and give you guys don't work. I'll be better. But guess what? Doesn't matter. You'll have fun either way. Get some bumps in your chest, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more. You can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join in on all the excitement because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
All right, wrapping up this hour, we got Matt Lane coming up on the other side of the break. We'll get his thoughts on this Chiefs season / final 3 games to play, what he's watching for, who he's watching for, and looking at as the Chiefs play out the string. We'll talk with Matt Lane about that and maybe priorities he's looking at in the offseason. How much on the field, how much has to take place on the sideline, in the front office, moves that are made there. We'll talk about all of those things. We'll hear from the coordinators coming up later on, 11:45. Dave Tobe, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Chris Jones. They will be at the podium today, and we got Sports or Leisure in the 1 o'clock hour, giving away $25 to Johnny's Tavern. We take a timeout. We come back on the other side of the break. Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. Let's talk some NFL football, Chiefs football with Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Matt, what's up, brother? How are you today?
We're making it along. You know, it's the first week in a decade where the Chiefs have been eliminated from playoff contention before Christmas. So, you know, it's new territory right now.
Yeah, they technically were alive in week 17 of the 2014 season. So I guess this would be 2012 as the last year they were eliminated this early. Only a couple of years before that. But still, it's been a while since they've been in this position. And, Matt, maybe the most surprising thing about this is, you know, for so many off seasons in a row, we've talked, mainly, you know, everybody has sort of talked about, well, you know, the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. If they miss the playoffs, then knock on wood, there's an injury to a certain position that you don't want to have happen. And maybe the most surprising thing, an eye-opening thing, is that that's not why they missed the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes was healthy, and it wasn't until the final drive of the elimination game, and who's to say they would have beat the Broncos next week, playing that way against the Chargers on Sunday. That maybe is the most surprising part about this entire season, Matt, is that they missed the playoffs with still 3 games to play, and it wasn't because of an injury to that quarterback position.
Yeah, they were certainly not in position to make the playoffs before that injury. Now, I will say in my heart of hearts, I did feel like they were going to go down and win that game and at least keep the hope alive. Up until the moment Mahomes got injured, I really did think they were going to come back and win that game. That said, there wasn't a lot of hope that they were going to make a real run, right? Like, there was not a hope that they were going to be an actual Super Bowl contender other than the whole any given Sunday aspect of football. So they got here. They got here in a long way, and it's been a little surprising this season. It's been a little, I mean, we're fans, so it's not fair, but a little humbling to see a team that had been so dominant just kind of fall off the rails at just about every stop and every possible way along the way.
I know this is going to be such a convoluted and answer that could have 1,000 different ways about it, but if you could look at maybe one thing, what would you look back on and say this might have been, and it might be a bigger picture of this might have been, and it's been 3 years or 4 years in the making, but just curious, looking back and going, this is probably the biggest issue that was affecting them going into this year that we kind of either dismissed, poo-pooed, or just glossed over because the Chiefs find a way.
Yeah, there obviously is a lot of different things about it. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing is the Chiefs have been so good that everybody has been chasing them for a long time now. And when that's the case, teams are going to start figuring out ways to attack what you do, right? Like, they are going to figure out your tells, how to beat you, and then everyone's going to do that. And if you don't have these significant changes or adaptations to what you're doing to counter that, you do kind of fall behind the 8 ball. And then you do need to win 12 one-score games in the last second. You do need some fumbled snaps. You need some blocked field goals down the stretch. Like, you start to need a little bit of those plays to fall your way on the luck scale if you're not changing what you're doing. So I think if we look at this Chiefs team, it felt like the NFL was kind of figuring them out in 2021, and they go on and they lose the conference championship game. And then there was a little bit of a change, not so much in what they were doing, just how they tried to accomplish it. And that bought them a couple extra years. But since then, and even kind of including that, I don't know if they have adapted very well, and it feels like the rest of the NFL is kind of caught up to what they are trying to do. And then it's the NFL. There's going to be talent drain because there's a salary cap. You just don't have the horses to stay out ahead of everybody if you are no longer doing stuff that they aren't expecting at the rate that you were before.
Is this an offseason to where they go, and there's a lot of things this offseason, but is this an offseason to where they go, you know, the last couple of years we were kind of keeping the band together because we were going for history. We were going for the three-peat. Okay, that makes sense. You're putting everything you have into the 2024 NFL season to win 3 in a row. Okay, well, you lost the Super Bowl, but you've been to 3 straight. Okay, let's get to 4 straight. So we're, you know, going out and signing a Trey Smith or re-signing him and re-signing Nick Bolton and bringing these guys back. In 2025, the team, if you're looking at it from the Chiefs' perspective, 2025 will be better, and then 2026 we may have to figure out some cap stuff, but we're going to go for 4 straight Super Bowls. Is this an offseason where you go, okay, it's time to readdress that, get some fresh blood, get some hungry players in there, and it can't just be continuing to keep the band together because a number of those band members are aging out of the band or not good enough to be in the band. Is this an offseason the philosophy over the last couple of years has to change?
Oh, for sure. And it probably, I think last year after that Super Bowl loss, they were at like this decision. They were at a fork in the road where they had to decide, do we essentially try to run it back with a couple new, younger pieces back in the mix, but essentially it's the same thing, or do we start preparing for the future? And ultimately, they chose the kind of, not, and I don't use run it back as the cliche from a few years before, but they opted to mostly keep the foundation intact, add a couple younger pieces to it, but expect a return to health in the wide receiver room, a little bit more experience with some guys, the offensive line being a tick better. They pretty much decided, like, hey, we can be 1% better than last year with this same concept, and it's going to work. And it ultimately did not. It continued down the path we thought it was. So I guess this year they finally got to do it. The benefit to starting last year, injuries notwithstanding, is you would have been a little bit ready. You probably would have been almost done retooling the roster going into 2026 had they started before. But you understand why they did it. 3 straight Super Bowls. It seemed reasonable to expect they could get a 4th coming into the year. We all thought that coming into the season as well because of how the health and development would go. It just didn't work out. So now really is the time to expect them to take a step back, I think, on the roster just in terms of known commodities, and you might have to adjust stuff with the scheme, with the foundation, with what their goals are as a team going into next year if they want to find that success again.
Matt Lane is our guest, KC Sports Network. There's 3 games left. We're in preseason mode again. Who are you watching for in these final 3 games? Are there players that you are going to be paying a little closer attention to?
This is the tricky part with the Chiefs, too, right, is they're an established team. It's not like they have loads of young, unseen talent. There's guys, obviously, but this isn't a team that is on the rise, right? They are a team that's been there. They're kind of established. We know a lot of who they are, and even some of the pieces that they've added have played a little bit or maybe don't have the highest ceiling, but they were coming in to play a role. So there's not quite as many like young guys that we really, really are eager to see that you might have with the Titans on the other side of the field this upcoming week or some of these other bad teams that are trying to get better. That said, I do think 2 defenders that have been playing their best football here in December have been Noel Williams at corner and Ashton Gelati on the defensive end spot. So if either one of those 2 guys can keep up this kind of development they've shown here in December and make a real push to maybe not starter for Gelati, but for Noel Williams for certain, and then there's like significant contributors going next year to where cornerback, 3 defensive end, 3 aren't these massive holes that they have to address. I think that'd be a big benefit if we can see some push from them this final 3 games.
Players that we haven't seen very much this year, are there certain players that you'd like? I don't know that it would happen for the Chiefs, but you would like to see the Chiefs go ahead and play since you're eliminated and not just take the same approach you've taken through these first 14 games. You've got 3 games left. Is it, a Brashard Smith, a Jeffrey Bassa, Jalen Royals, all of them? Like, are there players that you would like the Chiefs to play more of just simply because let's figure out what they have in these guys? And if you lose, oh, well, you lost.
Yeah, for sure. We would love to see all the rookies play. Royals is interesting because if we have Rashee Rice in concussion protocol and Tyquan Thornton in concussion protocol, and we're still a little up in the air on if Hollywood Brown's going to be available or not, like it's really paving the way that Jalen Royals should not only be active but like legitimately play. So it's more so than getting to see him. I just want to have that opportunity because if all that stuff happens and he still isn't getting any run, that is going to be a little unfortunate. That's going to leave a negative taste in your mouth down the final stretch. Outside of him, honestly, a guy you didn't mention there, I would love to see Dameon Pierce get called up, and let's just see what he has on the running back room.
Good call.
We don't have high hopes for Kareem Hunt, going next year. He's a fine player to have around. If they bring him around again, that's fine. I don't need to see him get hit 30 more times, each and every single week right now, given the way his body looks getting up off the field. Isaiah Pacheco, we've seen that kind of run its course these past couple seasons. So let's see what they have with Dameon Pierce, who, hey, out of non-Kareem Hunt running backs, has had the best season in the NFL out of any of the running backs on this team at one point in time. So I'd love to see what he has for them.
visiting with Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. You know, one of the things that we'll be talking about, too, is the priorities for the offseason. I want to talk about, you know, what those may be for you, but as it remains with, say, their own free agents. And when we talk about some of the younger guys playing, I think some of the veteran guys are also playing for jobs on this team. Is there, or multiple free agents to be on this team that you would like to see the Chiefs bring back? 3 on the defense with Jalen Watson, Leo Chenal, Brian Cook. Hollywood Brown, will throw him in there as well because he is a free agent. Are there guys there that you're saying you would like the Chiefs to make it more of a priority to get that done to make sure that guy returns to the Chiefs?
So, yeah, there's an interesting one with this is Brian Cook, I think, has been this team's best and most reliable safety, but I don't know if he's been so good that if his price tag's, you know, a little bit more substantial than, you know, low-level starting safety money that they have to bring him back. But he is a guy that I would, you know, keep eyes on because I do think that he has been just the most consistent in terms of communication, getting the calls and the defense organized as correctly as they can on the back end. So Cook, I think, has had a good year that's kind of gone a little under the radar because there's not a lot of flashy plays. Besides him, the biggest question they're going to deal with, I think, all offseason comes to that cornerback spot, right? Is Trent McDuffie going to be a long-term corner for this team? I don't have any reason to think he won't be, other than his name has now recently been thrown out there as potential trade target. And if that's the case, if McDuffie's not going to be in Kansas City for 5-6 more years, then you do have to figure out what you're doing with Jalen Watson, who I think has proven to be a very, very good starting caliber corner, especially on the outside. He kind of fits the mold of what the Chiefs like a little bit more. The thing is, he might have played himself into a pretty good contract as well. So you kind of got to make that decision right now. Is this going to be we're paying Jalen Watson top 15 corner money, or are we paying Trent McDuffie top 5 corner money going forward for the next 4 or 5 seasons, you know, going on?
Yeah, they've got to they got to figure out if they're going to sign Trent McDuffie or trade him. I am team trade Trent McDuffie, and I know that, you know, you look at it and go, are they a better team without Trent McDuffie? I mean, just in a vacuum, no, they're not a better team without Trent McDuffie. But are they a better team if they trade Trent McDuffie for a first-round draft pick? They're not going to get the Sauce Gardner deal. But for a first-round draft pick, and then you have a couple of first-rounders, maybe in the 20s and then in the teens, that you could take the best corner that's available there in the teens or the 20s and say, we're going to replenish that. And we've got Jalen Watson that we're signing if you trade Trent McDuffie, Noel Williams, Christian Fulton, you know, is still under contract, and then whoever you draft there, and you've now reset the clock at that cornerback position. I would also like the Chiefs, and this is just, you know, as we get further down the line, I mean, March is not that far away, but I'd also like the Chiefs to figure out what the Rams are going to do with Quentin Lake, because if the Rams don't bring him back, then I would gladly let Brian Cook walk and grab Quentin Lake, and therefore I can move Shamari Connor to Brian Cook's role, and Quentin Lake can play the Shamari Connor role at a much higher level than Shamari Connor as a safety, slot safety, a guy who's a 2-year captain, did not miss a snap the last couple of years outside of his dislocated elbow this year. That's a guy that, you know, I would certainly love to be on the Chiefs. It's just one of those things where, Matt, you know, throwing names out there, I don't think the Rams are going to let that guy get away. So if they do, I'd love for him to be a Chief because he matches everything that Spags wants. A Tyrann Mathieu, a Justin Reed type. The guy's a 2-year captain, plays every single game. He's the quarterback of the secondary and plays safety and slot. Like, it's everything that Spags loves in a guy. I think they would probably gladly change Cook for Lake, but he'd have to be available first. So
for sure, yeah. And that goes even, I guess, into like the whole part what we were just talking about corner too. To me, Trent McDuffie, for the price tag I think he's going to command, he's worth it if he's going to go back to playing in the slot, right? If he's going to be your slot corner full-time, he's only playing on the boundary when it's base defense, but everything else he's in the slot. He's your forced player out of the slot. He's playing the run. He's blitzing from there. I can fully get on board with the $22 million per year, whatever it'll cost to bring him around for that, because he's an elite player in that spot.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you might not that Quentin Lakes is just a bad pure safety, but I mean, you might not need a defensive back in free agency that has the ability to also kick down the slot, because that spot's taken care of. But if you don't, right? If McDuffie's not going to play in the slot like it seems like they're not keen to do, or he's not keen to do the last year and a half, 2 years now, or the team just doesn't keep him around, then, yeah, you got to figure out what the answer is there, because as much as I like what Chris Rowland-Wallace showed, I'm not ready to say he completely solves that problem for them in the slot. We obviously know it's not Shamari Connor, so like that is a very important position for this Spags defense, as we've seen. And right now, if it's not McDuffie, they don't really have somebody that's good in that situation.
Yeah, is Connor more likely to fill out a good player at the slot or fill out that player filling in for Brian Cook? I would say the Brian Cook role for Shamari Connor, and if McDuffie's not on the team or is dead set on playing the outside, then instead of Brian Cook, it's Quentin Lake because he offers more versatility that way. You're just sort of moving some pieces around. But again, this is names that'll be out there and may not be out there. So who knows? Matt Lane is our guest. A couple of quick ones for you, and then we'll let you go. The priorities in the offseason for you, what would be the main priority that you think the Chiefs should look at? Is it it could be a player, it could be position, it could be on the sideline in the coaching realm. What would you look at and say, this to me would be number one the Chiefs have to address?
Oh, you know me all too well here. It's definitely the coaching side. It's the offensive coaching staff just needs some new blood. It needs somebody that was with fresh ideas. And I don't mean that we're going to fire Andy and get rid of everybody and they're all bad or anything like that, but they need somebody to come in there with new ideas, somebody that says, this is how I see this defense we're going against, and here are some of my solutions to fix it that might be different than yours. Because unfortunately for the Chiefs, for the past 7 years now, I guess 10 years really, they've had the same guys in that room coming up with the same solutions to the same problems. And as we kind of led the segment off with here, everyone's adjusted to it. That's what defenses are trying to take away. So you need somebody that's going to come in with just new answers for the same questions. And then as you incorporate that, you build out a new offense that is better at taking advantage of what modern defenses do, which I think they do a really bad job of that right now. It's like that's where I think you have to start this offseason is retooling the sideline first.
Yeah, I do appreciate, the last couple of weeks that the bandwagon is growing for my, campaign over the last couple of months since roughly late September of bring Shieldhouse home. So that bandwagon the last couple of weeks, I've seen that online. Like we're getting bigger. We're expanding. We're growing. That I would love to bring him back home. And if Nagy gets the job, there's my OC for this team. As passing game coordinator for the Rams and a Rockhurst kid. So please, more people. The louder we get together, maybe the more the Chiefs will hear that, and the crowd. We can just all gather together. That'd be great. Matt Lane is our guest. Two quick ones. Does Patrick play week one in your mind? If you're guessing right now, if you're betting, you've got to place a bet. $1,000 right now, your money. Patrick plays week one or does not?
Right now, give me a yes. I think that he's going to do everything he can to make it happen. We have seen players do it in a similar timeline. Everybody's different, but if I have to make the choice right now, whether I think he is somebody that gets himself ready or doesn't, I'll take that he does. Now, that's different than should he, but I will take that he does play week one next year as of right now.
I like the difference there. That's I love that because that is true. He will or he should. All right, and last one, position you'd like to see as we start to go down this route, and you guys are certainly been working on that draft guide, and I can't wait till it comes out already. Is there a position if the Chiefs are drafting? Right now they're 12th. Unfortunately, I think they're going to end up 8 and 9. I'd love for them to be, 6 and 11, but whatever. What position would you like to see them draft in the first round if you had your druthers?
So yeah, and I'm getting a little trying to think a little bit too much about this, probably trying to go too deep into it. But if I'm predicting out what I think the draft board looks like, I'm kind of looking ahead. And if that's the case, I think wide receiver is going to give you the best bang for your buck. I do imagine that Jeremiah Love at running back's off the board. I imagine my top 3 defensive ends are probably off the board, and so that changes stuff. So I think the best talent available where they're slated to pick right now is going to fall at wide receiver. And when I watch this wide receiver room, I cannot stop banging the table and say they need a different type of player in there. They just need somebody who can get open on their own by themselves, beat press coverage, beat man coverage, and they don't have it. So I will continue to go down on that hill that I do think they need more talent at wide receiver, and I think where they're at in this draft, that might be the best player available is at that position as well.
If one of your top 3 edges are there, is that where you would go over wide receiver? Carnell Tate and one of your top 3 edges are there. You've got to choose.
Yeah,
Matt. You're Brett Veach.
I would probably go defensive end.
Okay.
I would have to get the sign-off from everybody in that defensive coaching staff that Reuben Bain's 22-inch arms are long enough to play defensive end, because that is going to be a huge talking point is how short his arms are, and I think that might make him drop, which is going to get things a little dicey for certain team fits.
Oh, no. Spags is going to wrestle Brett Veach to get Auburn's defensive end Falk, because he's a great defensive end against the run.
That one I would take. We would definitely be taking Falk. That's perfect for Spags. I think there's so much upside there. But, yeah, I think he's gone, and I really think that you might be looking at taking, like I said, a Reuben Bain with, I think the official is like 30.5-inch arms. And I just don't know if Spag's going to be okay with that, no matter how good he has been for Miami.
Yeah, we'll see if that's the case. Matt Lane, you're always good for us. Appreciate it, brother. As always, we'll see what happens these final 3 games, who steps up, who we're looking at. And a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and yours, brother. Thank you as always.
Have happy holidays as well. Enjoy that Christmas Day game next week. And until then, go Chiefs.
Yes, sir. There's Matt Lane. Great stuff from him, as always. I do love the Patrick plays week 1. Right now, I'll say yes, but that's different than should he. I think, will he? Because he's Patrick Mahomes, and he's an animal and a competitive prick. But also, should he play week 1? And I would say if he's out there week 1, then everybody around him has fully cleared and said it's all good in this hood. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. More Zone next. Well, you can't actually place money on if Patrick Mahomes will play week 1 or not. If you could, I would place the money on him playing week 1. Also, if you could do that at DraftKings Sportsbook if you're in Missouri, because your moment is finally here. America's top-rated sportsbook app is live in your state, Missouri. Now you can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more. All from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. Missouri fans, they know game day. The tailgates, the noise, the passion. Now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, and every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action, powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 810WHB. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. Coming up in a little bit, about 10 minutes from now, we'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs. Assistant Coach Day today, along with a couple coordinators. We will have all of the coordinators, Dave Tobe, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, and then we will hear from Brendan Daly, Andy Heck, and Connor Embry. And we will hear from Chris Jones today as well. So, lots of people at the podium talking today. We'll hear what they have to say. 913-912-4810 is the text line. One of the things that Matt Lane brought up, and we were talking about, players we want to see, and obviously one of the guys I would really like to see, and I shouldn't say obviously, but people have talked about it. Jalen Royals is a guy that I want to see out there playing, and Rashee Rice is in the concussion protocol, and Tyquan Thornton is in the concussion protocol. I would be shocked if Tyquan Thornton played because of how bad that was on the field. Rashee Rice finished the game and then went into concussion protocol. So I don't know if that is somehow, it fell through the cracks, that the independent neurologist didn't see something on the field or didn't check him out at the time, or maybe they did and he passed and it was fine, but then later on some symptoms arose. I don't know. But Rashee Rice is also in the concussion protocol. This team is eliminated. There is no reason to have somebody come back quicker, especially from something like that, which I'm not sure how, in today's NFL, with having to be cleared by the independent neurologist, I don't think you can come back quicker and just be like, oh, it's a pain tolerance thing. Well, okay, not really. But there's no reason, even if maybe they're close to being cleared, like, oh, they got cleared on like Friday or something. Like, he can sit out a game. Rashee Rice. I don't expect Tyquan Thornton to play. I would be surprised if either of them play. And if they don't, then that is a great opportunity for Jalen Royals to be out there. And it's also a good indication of what the team thinks of their fourth-round pick, because if Rashee Rice and Tyquan Thornton don't play and Jalen Royals still can't see the field, well, then he's not somebody you can count on next year. I mean, it's game 15. All right, Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy were wide receiver ones in their rookie year by game 15. Like, if he doesn't play and doesn't get an opportunity in a game in which Rashee Rice and Tyquan Thornton don't play, then that's the Chiefs telling us what they think of him. But I think he's going to play. And I would really want to see what he looks like, because I thought there was real value in the fourth round for him. I thought he was a guy that might have been gone in the second round, or certainly third round, and he's there in the fourth round. So I loved the Jalen Royals pick. There were a number of guys that I really liked in this draft that we just haven't seen this year. And it can't be because they are so stacked with position and their team is so good. How could you possibly have rookies play? Well, a couple of those rookies that would have played are injured. Josh Simmons, Omar Norman-Lott. That sucks. Those guys would have absolutely been out there playing a lot. Omar Norman-Lott might have made a difference in how often he could rush the quarterback, put some pressure on the quarterback. You never know as to what he might have been, but he's out. But the other guys, Gelati's coming along and he's playing more. He needs to play a lot more these last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I want to see Bassa. But Jalen Royals is a really interesting one, because if he doesn't play Sterling and Rashee Rice and Tyquan Thornton miss the game, then the Chiefs are telling you what they think of him.
I would agree, and that would be very, very telling, because I think Connor Embry wants to get him on the field too, because at this point the only success story has been Tyquan Thornton this year, right? So if you're him and say, hey, Andy, please play Royals, because if he looks good, that's going to help me keep my job.
And we'll hear from Connor Embry today.
So that
I think
might
there could be a question to Connor Embry. Jalen Royals, do we expect to see him, Connor?
And I think that's very important. The Ashton Gelati one's intriguing, but he's played a lot more, and he's been a guy who I think we've seen some positives from, but also I think he's built more like Karlaftis, where I think we can agree of he's not going to have the highest upside in the world.
If they get a stud edge in the top 15 or something like that, and Gelati is a depth piece as a defense, Gelati takes the role of Mike Dana.
He is your Mike Dana. That to me is the perfect scenario for the Chiefs.
And you get Omar Norman-Lott back next year?
Correct.
And you sign John Franklin Myers?
I mean,
come on!
We fixed it. The Chiefs have been fixed.
What are we doing here?
I mean, the Falcons went...
Beach, hire me!
The Falcons went from one of historically the worst sack numbers in the NFL to second in sacks this year.
Good call.
And what do? It was two guys.
Yep.
Two guys.
In the first round.
In the first round, but
Yeah.
it was two guys.
Yep.
And again, I'm not saying it's easy, but the point I'm making is it's possible, right?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Again, it's not easy, but you at least already have Karlaftis and Chris Jones in the hopeful Omar Norman-Lai, and then again, Ashton Gelati as your depth piece. The Falcons were starting from scratch with basically nothing. They needed everything.
It could be two guys. It could be who you draft in the first round and again, sign John Franklin Myers. And that's two guys because if you get Omar Norman-Lai back and Gelati becomes that Mike Dana role, you're a much better defensive end or defensive line than what you were this year. I mean, vastly different.
I want this to be like Skid Row, the youth gone wild.
Okay. All right. Along with Chris Jones.
In this game. I meant in this game.
Oh, this game.
This game. Yeah.
I
want it to be the youth gone wild.
I'm definitely with you.
Just every player.
I'm with you on
Skid
that
Row.
one.
Youth gone,
as we
youth
take
gone
a break, I thought it was interesting. Matt Lane, he brought up a name when I asked who did he want to see, and he said, you know what, I'll go a different route. I want to see Dameon Pierce be active. I want to see if Dameon Pierce has something left in the tank. Since, what are they going to play? Pacheco? Kareem Hunt? Why not play Dameon Pierce? Maybe he's a guy that has something left in the tank, and he's a guy you bring back next year to fill the Pacheco role while you go and get a better running back, and now your running back room is that much better. Tyquan Thornton was on your practice squad, and you kept him the next year, and he's made an impact.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Dameon Pierce. It's a good call by Matt Lane of a name that I hadn't thought about, but it's saying, activate Dameon Pierce. Let him play these last couple weeks. More Zone next.
All right, here's something I'm going to do this weekend. You can do it on a weekday, weeknight, does not matter. Something that is extremely fun is the Back Nine. The Back Nine, make sure you check them out online, by the way, at theback9golf.com/Overland Park. It is located at 75th and Metcalf, and this is the best, most fun, laid-back, exciting golf simulator you will find. I mean, this is the same simulators that are in Tiger's basement. It's Full Swing Sims, and it is in Tiger's basement. So you're telling me you're better than Tiger? No? Is that what you're telling me? You're too good for these? No. This is what's in Tiger's basement. I went and saw it as a lefty, as a loser who's left-handed. A lot of simulators are not made for us. A lot of simulators have this crazy thing where if you have a lefty and a righty, you're playing together, you have to move them back and forth each time. All of a sudden, that 1 hour fun round you thought you were going to play on a simulator turns into 3 hours because you're not hitting from the same side and you have to move things. Not here. It is from the top, it comes down, and it picks it up perfectly. You can play some of the best courses in the world. They have all the TPC courses on there. They have leagues. They have tournaments. And right now, if you're listening and you're trying to say, hey, you know what? It's cold outside. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm going to go play a round of 18, but want to warm up beforehand because the range we play at's not great, and you want to see what you're hitting. Hey, maybe you want to go find out what's my loft? What's my swing speed? What are some of the analytical side of things that I can get better at and improve at? Because right now, you can do this all. If you use code WHB, you will get 1 free hour. So go to theback9.com/Overland Park. Use code WHB for 1 free hour. Maybe you're a father with a kid. You can't play 4 hours. You don't have that time. No way your wife lets you. So what do? Bring the kid, put him in a chair. You can bring your own food and beverages and play 18 holes in about an hour and a half. Doesn't that sound like fun? Sounds like fun to me. The Back Nine Golf.
All right, let's head out to Arrowhead's practice facility. There we go. Got it. Here's Dave Tope.
Stuff is looking better and better. I think Matt Arise is having a really good year. It's probably his best year, obviously. And, and then obviously with Bucker, those things happen, but that's where we're at.
Not just Matt, but there's a lot of other guys around the league that you've worked with that are among the best punters in the league. Do you take some pride in that, just that you've had an impact on some guys around the league?
Yeah, I do. I never sat back and reflected yet. I'm not there yet, but I've had a lot of success in my past. So it's all good.
You mentioned Harrison. Have you ever you talked about being like a golf swing and everything.
Yeah.
It seems like every golfer kind of gets out of whack here and there. But are you ever really confident, or is every time a kicker goes out there, it's a heartbeat investment?
I'm confident with Bucker. I am. I know, it flared up a couple times this year and showed up. I have no doubt that he's going to get back on track and have a great year next year. You can't say he's going to have he can finish, make all his kicks and still the year is the year. It's what he did. So, I really believe, he's going to get it fixed and come back and be as good as ever. I really do.
Because of the standing, are you open to doing more moves like getting Richard, just more returns, just because?
He's going to get more. Just out of the fact that Taekwon's out. He's going to get more. We're going to try to get him more touches, obviously. He's another young player that we're trying to develop, and he's really come a long way, and he's done a real good job handling the football, and it's not too big for him, and he's done a good job. He's just another one of those young players that we're excited about.
Dave, you guys had so many guys leave that game in general that seemed like pretty consistently, but when Patrick goes down just on the sideline, what's that moment like? Is it just like anyone else where you're just thinking about next play?
Yeah, we all felt like you guys did, too. Everybody. The fans. It was hard. Let's being honest. It was different at practice. Just going out and he's not out there at practice. That's different. But the guys are rallying behind Gardner, and it's we're going to have a good practice today. We had a real good one yesterday, so that's the way it is. They're professional. They're going to come back and we're going to do everything in our power to win these last 3 games.
You guys haven't had the end of the season like this since you guys have been here. You're going to play some young guys maybe here or there, but is this a chance to have a little fun too? Maybe do some things that you wouldn't maybe do if the stakes were higher?
I'm worried about them doing it to us. Because they're in the same boat. I'm talking this week, the Titans. So, I just want to see solid play. I want to see guys make the tackles when they're available. I want to see them get off blocks. I want to see, great protection on punt and all those little things. And that's all I'm looking for. And then, and just get better in the return game. Get more opportunities for Nico. Those are the things that we're looking for.
It seems like Kevin Knowles is really ascending. What have you seen out of him, and what are you hoping to see over the next 3 weeks?
Kevin he's really. I'm really excited about him. He's it seems like every week he makes a big play. Like he made the tackle on the kickoff. that thing. I don't even know how he held onto the ball. That was such a good hit. But he continues to show up. Plays fast. He's tough as nails. He will block the biggest guy. He's a junkyard dog, man. He's just. I love him. And. We're excited about it. He's got really good speed, and we're excited as a corner. What he's going to do for us on defense. So, but I think, coming up next year, I'm going to count on him a lot. I'm already counting on him now. So.
Couple more.
Sorry. You mentioned Ariza having a great year. The thing that, from an outside perspective, seems he's really perfected that, sticking it and having it bounce back.
Right.
Is that, do you go to work, you send a guy out to work on one thing in an off season, or is here's all 10 things and that's just the kick that's really
that was one of them. That was the main one, was we had too many touchbacks, and then he definitely ironed that out. He's got that down. He's got a better feel. Other things that we need to work on is his direction of his normal punts. He's hanging the ball well, but we just got to get it moved. That's the next step. But he's really developed into a solid punter.
Just as a follow-up, is that if you have the leg, you can it just takes reps to get that, or some guys is it just like throwing a baseball? Some guys have the touch, some guys don't.
Yeah, I think you got to work at it. You know, you can get better and better at it. I mean, you know, it's an end-over-end kick, so you can really bang it. You know, there's a little less margin for error in that type of kick than there is in a normal punt. So it's just a matter of, you know, getting that touch. You know, like in a golf swing, short game, and then you know, his normal punts, he's you know, he was a young player coming in. He didn't have a lot of experience punting. I mean, he was, you know, when we first got him, and you know, I think the sky's the limit for him. He just keeps getting better.
Last one, anyone? Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, there's Dave Tobe, and interesting about Kevin Knowles there. Seems like Knowles has a job next year.
Yeah.
He said. Really excited about him, tough as nails. Next year, we're going to count on him a lot. Counting on him a lot this year already, but next year we're going to count on him a lot. Well, nice job, Kevin. You got yourself a job. I've liked Kevin Knowles during training camp and things like that, but he's been pretty good on special teams. Also, Dave Tobe, I guess, confirming Tyquan Thornton will not play this weekend, since was asked about Brashard Smith getting more touches, and he goes, well, he's going to have to with Tyquan out. Oh, okay. I mean, again, I thought Tyquan was going to be out anyway because that hit was really rough, and he was on the field. He got helped off the field, as opposed to Rashee Rice, that after the game was over, entered concussion protocol. Here's Steve Spagnuolo.
Sun's out. It's supposed to get a little windy, so we'll see if we're inside or outside. I don't really have a lot. We're on to the next game here. It's NFL Thursday, and I thought our guys worked pretty good yesterday. So with that, I'll open it up.
Do you anticipate, you know, I know a lot of the young guys, Andy said, hey, we're already playing the young guys, but getting more reps for the young guys?
We'll see. I mean, listen, during the game, you know, last week we dealt with some injuries, and we're dealing with some other ones this week, so we'll see what that takes us. But, you know, the one thing is that our unit, you know, the guy, I mean, listen, we want to finish strong here. You know, we'll take one game at a time and play really well in this game. So we're going to put guys out there to do that. But will some young guys get in there and play? Probably, yeah.
You know, there are a lot of fans that be like, oh, just lose, improve your draft
position. Yeah.
Doesn't work in that?
Yeah, I don't think we were. Our guys aren't built that way. I mean, I don't think there's a coach or a player that's built like that. I know. I always say this, like, if we had a basketball court right out here, and you took any 6 of the guys in that locker room and said, go play 3-on-3, they would be knocking each other over to win the game, right? Even if there was $1 on the line. That's just how they're built. So I don't think that'll change in the game.
Steve, one of the guys I didn't see on the injury report was Nick. He came off the field a couple of times. Out there. What was going on with him during the game?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember exactly. I think they took him in one time to check concussion, but he was fine because he came back pretty quick. And then I don't know if it was shoulder or something. He was right back in there. You'd have to ask him exactly what they were, but I do remember one was a little bit concussion.
That's a little weird spot. He's your green dot guy. I saw Alan down there.
Yeah, we were down. Alan, he goes to work pretty quick, so it was get the helmet to Drew, and then Drew became the guy that I was communicating with, even though Jack was the guy that went in for Nick. But yeah, that gets a little bit tricky. I remember us doing that when I first got here. Anthony Hitchens was playing on the first and second, and then Ben Neiman would go out in the dime. I remember Alan was over there constantly doing and he did a great job at it. So he's experienced. We got it done pretty good.
Steve, what are your thoughts on Zach Pickens, the young defensive tackle?
Well, we'll see. I mean, we got him up to the 53. We'll see if we get him to game day. But it's probably to what Soren's talking about. I mean, this is an opportunity, or could be an opportunity, to see somebody that we haven't seen yet. But again, the focus is going to be to prevent as many points by Tennessee's offense as possible. That's our job.
Steve, we haven't seen Jeff Foster much on defense. Where is he right now?
Well, I mean, he's been playing special teams, obviously, and I mean, we haven't seen any reason to pull the other guys out. Hopefully, everybody stays healthy and it doesn't become an injury thing. But I got a lot of confidence in Jeff. I was talking to him the other day. I mean, he's the growth process as a weak side linebacker is just in walkthroughs now. We haven't seen him in a game. Haven't seen him since preseason. But I'm real hopeful for Jeff going forward. Yeah.
Similar question, just how you've seen Ashton develop.
Yeah.
What do you think his ceiling is?
Showed ball skills the other day, which was kind of cool. I still think we could have got him in there. We could have got one other block. We could have scored there. I think he's on a great trajectory. as far as what you want to get out of a rookie, a young guy. He's around some veterans. I think that have been a real big help to him. I think he's got some versatility that maybe going forward we can do some different things with him. But right now, he's getting as many reps as we can get him. I'd like to get him more in these next 3 games because I think he can do some things for us. But I'm real happy with what he's done so far.
Couple more.
Thoughts of the young quarterback Cam Ward for the Titans? He's almost through his first year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he can zip that thing. He can spin it, as we say in the football world. He got really strong arm, and he's another athletic quarterback. I see him make some throws, and you go, oh boy, that's scary. And I know it's been a little up and down for them, and they've dealt with their issues, some in the O-line. Got a good young receiver. I think both those backs are really good. I'm really impressed with number 2 Spears and the way he pass protects. He's a physical guy. But getting back to the quarterback, I mean, listen, I haven't studied every game. We watch the ones that we need to get ready for this particular game. But I think he's got a skill set that a lot of these quarterbacks in this day and age, athletic and can throw. I mean, that means we got to be on point.
Last one, Zach.
Steve, speaking of skill set, Ashton mentioned yesterday on that interception that it was his first lifetime pick, and because he didn't drop back in high school and college.
Yeah.
How important is that skill for a defensive lineman?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys have been here long enough to see the way we function defensively. We ask our guys to do that. I mean, we've had Chris drop a couple. We don't do it much, but we've had him do it a couple times. And listen, when you can do that, the reason we do it, I think that the whole league does it, is it makes it a little bit tough for offenses in their protections at who's coming and who's not coming. And so we'll always have some version of that. But, Ashton's what I call a natural knee bender, and he's got some athletic skill change of direction-wise. So when a guy can do that, going forward as a pass rusher and do it going back, that's helpful for us, that versatility.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, appreciate you. Thanks.
All right, there's Steve Spagnuolo. We'll hear from Matt Nagy playing some of the younger guys, and he says, we'll see. During the game, they dealt with injuries last week, but he said probably play some of those younger guys more. That'd be nice.
Zach Pickens would be intriguing.
Yeah. Jeffrey Bassa said there's been no reason to take the other guys out. Well, Leo Chanel missed practice yesterday with a shoulder. I mean, if he doesn't practice today or tomorrow, then there would be no reason for Bassa not to be in that spot. No reason to go Jack Cochran.
Yeah.
At this point. And I know it'd be like, well, do they play different positions? Figure it out. Get Boss on the field and not reps for Cochran, okay? There's one guy that can be a player for you as a starter moving forward that you drafted, and another guy that's been a practice squad, special teamer, real deeper depth piece at linebacker that has been playing. Let's go with the guy that has a better chance of doing that. Just as he said, Gelati is, versatility, going forward, and he wants to see even more reps from him going forward. Great, so do I. That's awesome, Now there's a role for him because Amenahue hasn't been good.
Yeah.
And Dana's been, generic. So Gelati's playing a lot more. But he said a great trajectory as a rookie, and he'll have more versatility going forward. And I think you can use that versatility if he's not your starting defensive end. If you find somebody there to play defensive end opposite George Karlaftis, you've got versatility with Gelati that could slide inside and do some things outside, drop in pass coverage if need be. You've been looking for that slot corner for a while. Is that Gelati? People are asking.
Some are asking.
Some are asking. Also, he said, was asked about Nick Bolton. Todd Lebo asked about Nick Bolton, what happened. Nick Bolton said on the Players Show, Coach, whatever it was, that one of the reasons he came out is he caught an elbow to his gut and sort of had the wind knocked out of him. So
Makes
that was
sense,
yeah. One of them he came out just to get checked out and then went back in. The second time he left was because he had the wind knocked out of him, took an elbow to the gut, and then had to go over the sideline for a couple plays, get his wind, then get back in there. He was fine. So that's why he's not on the injury report this week.
I thought the helmet aspect was kind of cool with the green dot. That was pretty intriguing of Cochran and then Drew Tranquil. But even going back to when it was Anthony Hitchens, so
to Ben Neiman.
I do think that makes some sense of if why Nick Bolton's out there. He might be not as good as, let's say, Jeffrey Bassa or Drew Tranquil, but just even the helmet switch might make it so convoluted that if it's not a drastic drop-off, do you want to risk some of the potential crossing of the wires?
And it's why if Nick Bolton's going to miss a play, I mean, he was a foot and a half away from the Chiefs sideline when he took a knee, and they had to call an injury timeout. Yeah, he's smart. Because if I jog off the field here, then we've got to change the helmet in between their running a play. But if I take a knee here and it's an injury timeout, we can switch out the green dot.
Yeah.
So it's just a small thing that just shows sort of that the intelligence on the field of knowing what the role is and everything that has to happen, and knowing you're the green dot guy. Hey, he's a green dot guy. That I can't just jog off the field if I don't have my breath. Even though it's a foot and a half away, I can't just roll over to the sideline and have somebody go in. No, take a knee, have them stop the game, injury. Now you get Allen to switch out the helmets and get Drew Tranquill the green dot, even though Jack Cochran's coming in for Nick Bolton. So you got two different guys doing different things when Nick Bolton leaves the game for even a play.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was intriguing. And again, that's maybe why we see, even if you wanted someone else instead of Bolton on those third downs, this is a part of the reason why that, unless it's a drastic difference, it's going to be Bolton out there.
And especially if they're going a little bit quicker,
yeah,
then you can't take out Nick Bolton unless there's a huddle and you can then change out all of that stuff, the green dot, everything that goes along with that.
It's why they wanted to bring him back. And for the folks that say maybe he's making more than you would have liked, these are some of the nuances of why.
Yeah.
It's not always just Madden player for player.
Should be. Here's Matt Nagy.
Pat got hurt the other day. I mean, you right there was on your sideline. What went through your mind right away?
You don't know exactly what the deal is, what happens. I could just see the pain in his facial expression. I could hear him. So for me, it was just, you're going through that moment in the game, two parts of it. You want to be playing well in that game to be able to win the game, and we felt like we needed to be better. We got to that point to where we're going to go down and try to either kick a field goal to tie it or win a game, and then that happens. There's a lot of emotions that go through you instantly. You have a lot of hurt, not knowing, but kind of knowing when you see it, what you think could happen or what it could be, and you certainly know he's not going to be in there for the next play. So there's a lot of emotions. It's an emotional game. That Patrick puts in so much time and investment into what he does, and he battles, and then for that to happen in that moment was hard. But we as coaches and as players for the rest of that game have to fight through that, and then it's very emotional in the locker room after the game, and it's a feeling I'll never forget for the rest of my life in that locker room afterwards for many reasons. And I do know that he's going to come back stronger than ever. I believe that. And I know it started a few days ago.
Now, when you look at it, I just want to ask about the complication of the offense has played very well in stretches over the course of the season. Fourth quarter moments where, and I'm just thinking this last week, but over the course of the season where it hasn't showed up. Like, how do you evaluate that as a coach when you see it consistently, but then not in those significant moments?
Yeah, you're spot on. You're right. You look back, and I think that's probably the part that's the most frustrating part is the lack of consistency. Every team has injuries in the league. Every team has things that go on within a game. They all handle adversity. When you go through these moments, and let's face it, there's been a lot of success in this organization in the last 13 years, a lot. So when you stumble into some of this where you're trying to search and find out, like, why is it? We had a stretch there this year on offense where we were probably as confident as we've been in years. And then you get to these last couple of games, and at sometimes it just feels hard to even get that first down, in that game. So you search and you try to figure out why. What is it? And that's where, when you're not winning and you're losing, it magnifies all that, which is real. And there's a lot to it. So I think it's very important for us as a staff to make sure that right now we know that we have 3 games left. We owe it to our players. We owe it as coaches. We owe it to the city to go out for these last 3 games. As much as people, there's no playoffs ahead of us. We still have to work to be better, and it's our job. So there's honest communications. We talk about accountability. We talk about honesty. We talk about commitment and consistency, and that's all stuff that you want to do throughout the year and strive to be great in those times. And just for whatever reason, it hasn't happened this year. And I will say too, like, my role as an offensive coordinator, you run into these moments and these situations, and you have to start with yourself and make sure that you're real with the players, real with yourself, and then get answers. And I take that very seriously, and that's kind of where we're at. And we have 3 weeks left, and these guys have had a loud, clear message that that's what our job is moving forward, is to end the season on three wins.
And then we got to dig into, where we can be better.
Matt, you've been obviously in so many post-game locker rooms. I wonder if you might elaborate a little bit on why you won't forget this one and what distinguished it.
So the losing and knowing that you're basically eliminated from the playoffs, rare territory for us. Not easy. We put in a lot of time and energy to get to the playoffs so that anything can happen. We've done that for many, many years here. And you feel for the guys sacrifice so much, these players. And then on top of that, to see our leader, how he was after the game, that's why I've been in rooms where we haven't made the playoffs before, in 2014 being here. But when your leader has a significant injury and he's hurting for so many reasons, it can be shattering in that moment. But you can't feel sorry for anybody. You got to pick yourself up. And I think that's where I know Pat is at right now. And so when you talk to him, when you communicate with him, and you know where his spirits are and what he's going to do off of this, the only way to look at this in a positive light, which I think is sometimes really hard for people, is to, as much as it stinks right now that we're going through this, hopefully there's a silver lining for everybody. For why? And whatever that is, I don't know, but you have to believe that, and then you have to stick together. And it's not easy in today's world to do that, but the people that go through it, they tell on themselves when adversity hits, it reveals their character, and that's real. And so we're being challenged in this building right now to make sure and see who's reacting certain ways to finish strong. And then from there, you got to use this moment right now to come back and be better, all of us individually, for the next year.
And is it a time to tinker when you don't have the something to play with? Is it time to take a look at some things that maybe you wouldn't otherwise look at? Whether it's personnel, or plays, or formations, or whatever?
Well, naturally, there's some of that with some injuries that go on, so you are forced to somewhat do that with some guys. And then, maybe to your credit, to your question, there is a little bit of that. You don't want to be in this spot. It's not a fun spot, but it is reminding all of us in the building how hard it is to get to what we have done, and that you can't take it for granted. It's hard. So when we get to training camp, you get to the season, this is a feeling you got to remember. And so for some of the younger guys that are on this team that maybe haven't played as much, maybe they get some more time, and maybe, again, there's a silver lining for somebody somewhere, and that's how you have to approach it.
Last one, Pete.
Specifically to Jalen Royals, is his playing time been limited just because of the talent in the room, or do you want to see more from his development?
No, it's not. Yeah, you want to see more talent. You want to see more time from him if possible. We've been in a position where, these wide receivers that we had. I mean, we feel very fortunate with the guys that we've had for the middle of the season on when Rasheed came back, and some of it's just a numbers thing for him, and it's almost like a redshirt year in a way. He's practicing hard in practice, but for him, there's a lot of good stuff there with him, and I think I'm excited to see what he's going to do, whether it's these next 3 games and or the future. But yes, it's going to give some kids an opportunity to maybe get some more time that they wouldn't have gotten, and but it's our job to see that and to give them those chances.
Thank you, Coach.
So thank you, guys.
All right, there you go. There's Matt Nagy. So just talk about the offense. We've talked about how it's regressed this year. It's gone backwards. And he said, there was a feeling that the offense had a stretch where they were as confident as they've been in years. And I think that was, that stretch where they played the Lions and the Raiders and Commanders, and they were heading to Buffalo. And a couple of things that I wonder if it changes the entire trajectory of the season, because, again, they were riding a high offensively, and they go into Buffalo, and their third possession tied 7-7. They don't get the 4th down and 3. Then right before half, what happens? They get that 1st and goal at the 1, and they have to kick a field goal there. And then they come out 3 and out in the second half to start that. Those 3 possessions could be the trajectory of the entire season, the way the offense was going at that point. Here is Brendan Daly, linebacker coach.
These last 3 games.
He's done a really nice job for us. His role obviously has been more in the kicking game, but he has stayed very dialed into defensively what we're doing. Does a really good job in terms of communication. Has done a nice job understanding the different roles that he could get put into. It's been a fortunate situation in terms of our health at that linebacker position. Hasn't required him to get a bunch of game action. But I've been really pleased with his development. He's in here early every day. He's working hard. He does a really good job of asking questions and watching the guys in front of him who do a great job.
Right. You've obviously been on such a streak, a personal streak too, of all these championship games. I wonder if it's too early for you to kind of process that. I mean, are you just so focused on the moment now, or does it jar you in a certain way to see it kind of come to an end for now?
Yeah, I would say you're probably right in that it's too soon to process all of that. I mean, I think the focus right now is on Tennessee and trying to prepare for this game and put our best foot forward and go and win the football game. I'm sure that'll come, as the reality when the season ends hits. But at the moment, like you're in the flow of it. It's honestly no different than it would be if we were, 14-0 or whatever the case may be at this point. It's the next game, and you go about it day to day through your process the same way.
Is that your message to players who don't have that playoff carrot now out in front of them?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, listen, we're all, this is what we do, not who we are, but it's something that's really important to us, and we want to put our best foot forward. And each and every time we go and step out on the field, we understand that as coaches, as players, what we do out there, it's our walking, talking, living, breathing resume. And, you want that to be what you would like it to be. And you would like the results to be what you want them to be. Unfortunately, that hasn't gone, entirely the way that we'd like it to, which that's how it rolls sometimes, But it doesn't mean you stop working. It doesn't mean you stop pushing, trying to get better, trying to compete. It's just part of the nature of playing this game and being a part of it.
A few more.
You've got another young guy in Cooper McDonald. Again, a lot of special teams work.
Yeah.
But do you see him as being long-term a guy that could contribute on your side?
I like Cooper a lot, yeah, and he's done some really interesting and positive things. Both in the preseason, I thought he did a really nice job, which again, you can see what we thought of that in terms of him being able to make our roster. And he had, some really good play on special teams. I don't want to speak for Dave Tobe and that side of things, but I think he's done a nice job there. Again, he's been similar to Jeff in a role that he hasn't been asked to be on the field tremendously defensively, but he's in there early every day with Jeff. He's got different roles than Jeff, but has done a really nice job in terms of mentally, keeping himself up to speed in multiple different spots that he could be in. It's been impressive, and yeah, I think there's certainly a bright future for him, both of those guys.
Last one, Todd.
If Leo can't go this week, is that the spot Jeff would play? Some of these snaps?
We'll see how that goes. I think Leo's role is so diverse in so many different things. He's not replaced by one person, to be honest. There's kind of a division of labor that would have to go into place there, and that's a little bit. Those guys have been working because as you go through the season, okay, here you would be next in this situation, in this position, in this package. But it's not necessarily just a swap it out one for one type of situation.
The last thing I know I asked about, you can't put a cap on everything that's happened this last decade of your coaching career, but I mean, just what's it been like for you personally this week? You've not been in this position in December.
No, but I've been in it, and it's been a while. It's been a while. That's right. To be honest, I go back to a little bit what Vah's question was. I haven't allowed myself to go there necessarily. I'm sure I will at some point and reflect back, but it'll be after we get the season over. At this point, it's get ready for Tennessee.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. Have a great day, guys.
All right, there's Brendan Daly, and the conversation about Jeffrey Bossa, and he said, pleased with his development, but he's a big part of the kicking game right now, learning the different roles that he could play. And with Chanel, not practicing with the shoulder injury, if he doesn't go, does that open up a role for Bossa? And boy, what a great answer! I mean, that was really illuminating and revealing when Brendan Daly said, "Well, Chanel is so diverse. Like, he's not replaced by one person.
Yeah.
Like, we've had to go through and say, okay, if Chanel doesn't play, then in this package, then, hey, that's going to be you. Or this package over there, then this is going to have to be this guy there." Which, by the way, You think they're letting that guy walk? If he's saying Chanel is so diverse and can't be replaced by just one guy, a one-for-one, because it would have to be different guys in different packages. I've said before, they view Chanel as a much more vital piece of this defense than maybe some people give it credit for. I think Chanel is going to be on this team moving forward because he's more of a Swiss Army knife for this team. And just go ahead and get used to the fact, if you don't want Chanel to be re-signed, just go ahead and get used to the fact that he'll be on this team. And I don't know why you wouldn't. Because they're not going to have to pay him Nick Bolton money. I think he's going to be cheaper than even, Drew Tranquill because of an off-ball linebacker. But he is viewed with the Chiefs in doing different things than another team that would go, well, where are the sacks and the tackles and the tackle for loss and everything? And the Chiefs are going, yeah, well, we're using him here, 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 here. And if he's not there, well, now we've got different guys coming on and off the field to do different things.
Yeah, it was a great question, a great answer. You're right, illuminating of what they think about Leo. He might not be a 100% snap count guy, but the roles he does play are vast. So, yeah, you're right. It's not going to probably be a Bossa situation.
But it could be, though, because it could be like
partly.
If Leo doesn't play, hey, in this package, this is going to be you, Bossa. This is going to be you, Cochran. Tranquill,
Sure.
This is going to be you if Leo's not playing. And they're going to have to go through that this week with him and the shoulder injury. Because he didn't practice yesterday. If he practices today or tomorrow, then maybe he plays. But I'd be okay from, a standpoint of him missing a game just to see what they do in that absence, to see what it looks like with them having to go to different guys and, an opportunity for Bossa to play.
My thoughts. I love Nick Bolton. I would love to even see if he takes a game off at some point just to see where, if you can put Bossa in his the best role for him, and maybe that's the Drew
or maybe
spot.
You put Drew in Nick Bolton's spot and
spot.
Bossa in Tranquill, because that's what I would like to see is Bossa play Drew Tranquill.
That's what I think we're kind of in agreement there as well.
Yeah.
But I think I'd like to see some maneuvering. But again, this is also game 15. So there's still more games left after this. So maybe it won't be until the Raiders game, the final game of the season. But
it might be to where Drew, we're just going to sit you, Nick. Get more rest, man.
I know we're not used to this because we're used to the Chiefs. The only time they're resting guys is when they're resting for the playoffs. But
yeah, right. I mean,
we forget what a regular season game is like when there's no repercussions.
It's been a while. It's been since that 2012 season.
Yeah.
Here is Andy Heck.
You've gone through, I don't know if you've ever had a year like this with so many things happen along your line. Where do you guys think you are right now with who you've been putting out the past couple of weeks and how they've done for you?
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of confidence in the guys that have been here and working. It's been a great opportunity for some of these young guys. I like the way they've responded and gone out and competed. We come to work every day to get better, and so that's where our focus is this week. That's where we're at.
How unique is this story with Ole, where it seemed like he was your 54th man, cast off to another team, released, and has success instantly, like you've seen from him so far?
Yeah, well, we were excited to get Essa here in the first place, and excited for his opportunity there in New York, and lucky to get him back. And so he's a talented football player with, I think, a good football future ahead of him, and I love working with him.
Andy, can you evaluate your guys' run game now, potentially where you guys want it to go in the future?
Yeah, we've been, we have a good idea about, those concepts that we're good at. We've been an efficient run team through the year. What we're looking for is, how can we get more explosive in the run game? And so, that's a constant effort, whether it's, what are we doing scheme-wise? How can we block it better? But I love the grit and toughness in our running backs. We spend a lot of time working at, these things. Now we've got a few different combinations in there, a few guys doing this. And there's a lot to, getting on the correct angle and being in phase with your buddy, with the back. So we've got a few weeks here to continue to try to improve that.
You've had a couple of international guys in the past, but Chu's the first one that's really had an opportunity to go in there. What have you kind of learned about him over the last few years, and what was it like seeing him on Sunday getting that opportunity?
Yeah, Chu is a great person, and you don't design a tackle that looks any better than Chu looks. I mean, big, strong, athletic. So again, a guy that we're excited to have here to be able to work with. He's done a good job improving, from where he was when he first got here. And it just hasn't worked out that he's been on the field till the other day. I had every bit of confidence when he went in there that, he would do exactly what he did. And, he took a bunch of nice sets out there, knew what he was doing in the run game. And so I love working with Chew.
And you talked about the in phase and getting the angles cleaned up. What's the key to getting those corrections, having that work?
Well, there's no secret recipe to it. It's film review, drill work, teamwork. It's practice. It's putting in the work. And then we come back and we make corrections, and then we go out and we walk through it. So it's normal football work.
Coming into the year, there was a question about whether Kingsley could be a star. I guess how impressed have you been, just considering he made the move and sort of has solidified himself as a guard in the NFL?
I never had a question about that. Kingsley is big, strong, athletic, and he's done a really good job of steadily improving this year. And I look forward to him having a really strong career there inside. I'm happy for him because I personally like the guy, love the guy, and so love to see him make steps every week here as we've gone through the year.
Last one, Tom.
Nobody's going to feel sorry for the Chiefs. You guys got a bunch of rings and everything, but you've had player just not be here when you thought it was going to be. First snap in the game, guys getting hurt. Have you had a year like this where it's just kind of snowballed and been this challenging for everything you've had to deal with on your line?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I've been in this league a long time now, nearly 35 years. So yes, I've seen that, dealt with that. And, it's kind of whether it's a coach's mantra, hey, next man up, or it's definitely an O-lineman's mantra, stuff happens. Next man up, we roll. And then I'm just kind of that way by nature too. I'm like, here's the situation, all right, we roll. And I just look forward and move forward with that. So, no, we don't want this to happen, but it's football. Stuff like this happens.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, thank you.
All right, there's Andy Heck and talking about Esapole, the run game, also getting in phase, as the run game coordinator, Andy Heck. He's right when he said that they've been efficient, but they need to get more explosive. They've been efficient run game. Like you look at some of the efficiency numbers, it's like, yeah, the Chiefs run game. Then you look at the explosive numbers, and it's like, oh, the Chiefs run game is the three of us.
Yeah.
It's like disaster level of explosive run rate, which is, essentially zero. But 4 yards a pop, they got that. Let me get 4 yards, which shows that the blocking seems to be pretty good. But as he said, how can you get more explosive? It's scheme, it's blocking, get the correct angle, get in phase with the running back. How do you fix that? Film review, drills, practice, go and do those things. Because watching Mitchell Schwartz breakdowns of some of the plays over the last few weeks in the running game shows the disconnect between the offensive line and the running backs as to where the play is supposed to go.
Yeah.
A hole that's there and open, and where the running back actually goes.
And it makes you...
Mainly Pacheco.
I would say it makes you think that the offensive line more or less is better than...
Yeah. It goes.
Yeah.
It highlights Mitchell Schwartz. I'll be honest. It goes and highlights the need for a running back that has vision and has some explosiveness. He also has a couple there that are like this scheme, this particular play, and what you're asking is not going to work.
Doomed from the start.
Yeah,
and it's again why I like the Mike McDaniel, or at least even someone in that tree-ish now, where it's like, hey, that run game has worked every place he's gone.
Yeah.
San Fran, and you don't need elite offensive linemen. You don't need elite running backs. He's done it with a plethora of different guys. I mean, I don't think anyone's sitting here saying the Miami offensive line's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it's they've struggled. Achane is pretty awesome, and certainly there's a number of yards over expected for Achane, and there are some long gains when it's like, oh wow, he juked that guy and spun there, and then he picked up 25 yards. Well, that's a 4-yard gain for the Chiefs.
Then you've also seen guys like Raheem Mostert look like studs and stars down there. So again, I just think that, my thoughts.
Yeah,
I think right now the biggest issue for this Chiefs team is scheme. I think right now, schematically, they're stuck in 2022. And until that changes, no matter who you get back there, you're not going to get these ridiculous plays.
But I also wonder, as we've talked about and seen Mitchell Schwartz, some of it is scheme, certainly, but he's also breaking down different plays that are, why is the running back doing this? This is a big gain. Why did the running back cut inside when the defensive end was crashing inside and Kelsey was on the outside? And this play is specifically designed for this to go outside of the tackle and where Kelsey is, and this running back cuts it up for no reason. And Kelsey turns around, who has an awesome block and knows that it should be a big gain, turns around, sees a 3-yard gain, and puts his hands in the air like, what happened there? And then the first play of the game against the Chargers, it is a play to where the tight end is on the backside, and it's designed to go between the right tackle and the right guard. And Pacheco gets the ball, and Schwartz says, the angle has to be tighter here because you know the alignment, you know the play. It's also practiced. It's part of the first 15 scripted play. So you know the angle has to be tighter. Yet Pacheco receives the ball and angles right to Jalen Moore's right shoulder. And he pauses it. Mitchell Schwartz is going, here's why this is wrong. It has to be tighter because he knows the play is going to be the inside shoulder of Jawan Taylor. You only go that way if the defensive end crashes down. If not, then or Jalen Moore.
Yeah, it was Jalen,
right.
yeah.
Let's just say right tackle. If not, the right tackle's job is to hold that guy at bay, and you see his numbers and not turning one way or another, so you're going inside of him. Isaiah Pacheco heads right to the right tackle, almost runs into him, so he jump cuts back to the left, past where the hole is.
Yeah.
Then he's getting tackled from behind by Kelsey's guy, who wouldn't be there if he just goes straight through the hole. Then he starts to get to the hole, but by the time he gets there, the right tackle has been pushed back into that hole. It's a 3-yard gain. And he's pausing and going, there's nobody there. That is an NFL hole right there. Why did he run right, jump left, then go back to the right? It's high school level. He's awful. Pacheco sucks. Here's Connor Embry.
Like I said, it's probably a multitude of things.
What's been most frustrating for you seeing how this season went?
Probably just like everyone else, we're just disappointed. You know, we had high goals and we came short of that. So that's probably it.
You went through this 2 years ago, Connor, where drops became an issue as the season went along.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you can pinpoint as to why that became an issue this season?
Yeah, I think mostly the drops I feel like this year have been with some stuff where it's like it's trying to get the ball and make a move before they catch it. So it's usually with players that's their strength, where they catch the ball, get up the field. That's first step, go. And it's just happened this year where some of those they didn't look it all the way in before they started running.
You evaluate Xavier Worthy in his progression this year.
Yeah, the stats might not be there, but he's been doing a lot of good things for us that really don't show up in the stat box. He's been a lot better in the room. He's trying to become a leader in his second year, and kind of take Jalen under his wings and kind of show him how to do things. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Xavier.
Have you seen some on-field progressions too?
Yeah, and just little things like route details. He's running a lot of different routes this year. We're moving him around again. He's a super smart player. We can put him everywhere, as you guys seen this year, and I think he can continue to grow.
How about Jalen's progress, and what do you expect from him the last few weeks?
Yeah, Jalen, he's been working his tail off at practice. Super smart kid, stays locked into the meetings, and just like he said, we'll see these next 3 games if he gets the opportunity to go out there and go make some plays.
How much did that D tendonitis at the end of camp and the beginning of the season kind of slow him down?
Yeah, I think it did. Personally, he was having a great training camp, great preseason, and he was kind of in a rhythm. Him and Pat, were on the same page with stuff, and then I think it was just bad timing when all that stuff came to, and he worked his way through it and got through it. Like I said, I really like where he's at. He's been working his butt off at practice and in the meeting room.
What's the mood been like in the room? You got some guys hurt. You mentioned the drops. Where you guys are right now? What's it been like this week?
Yeah, I think it's just like everyone in the building. We're just disappointed, but we know we can't just keep our head down and feel bad for ourselves. We still got 3 games to, go put good things on tape and have an opportunity to go win. So that's all we can focus on right now.
Last one, Zach.
Connor, similar to Jesse's question on
Yeah.
Xavier, how would you evaluate Rashee Rice?
Yeah, same thing, similar to kind of like with Jalen, with the suspension earlier in the season. He was having a great training camp preseason and, got suspended and had to go get away for a couple games. And coming back, I thought he got off to a hot start and, continued to, get better throughout the year. I thought he got better. And, he was trying, he's trying his all to be out there with this team, and similar to Xavier, he's trying to take that leadership role and lead all the young guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there's Connor Embry. We will take a timeout, a little bit of time between the coaches and Chris Jones. We will hear from the All-Pro defensive tackle on the other side. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. All right, maybe Pacheco doesn't suck, right? I mean,
You got heated there.
I don't know. I got more and more annoyed just thinking about the first play of the game in scripted and to be that far off on something that is an NFL hole and to miss it that badly and to run right and then skip past it and then finally get there. But two guys that should not have been able to tackle you because you should have been past them are the ones that tackled you, and it's a gain of 3 yards. And it's like, the hell's going on? But also, it may not be specifically Pacheco. It could also be, I don't know, the coaches. Maybe because there's a wide receiver coach that's coaching him to be a running back. You know what the Royals should do? They should take Alex Gordon and have him coach the catchers. Because, they both play defense, right? They both know how to catch a baseball. Todd Pinkston plays offense.
I push back on this a little bit.
He should know what a running back does because he's a wide receiver. So I say, Alex Gordon, go coach Salvi.
So you're saying only running back.
Go teach Carter Jensen.
Are you saying running back coaches have to be someone who played running back in the NFL?
Nope, but they have to be somebody that's good enough to not see an entire room regress 2 years. Is Pacheco as good now as he was with Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator and helping out with the running backs?
But also this is post-injury.
Okay, but that was also. I'm just talking about finding a hole and running through it. The first play of the game, scripted play.
I get it.
Taking the wrong angle, then jump cutting past the hole, then finally seeing. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing. Chris Jones has not been embarrassing. He's been awesome a good part of the second half of the season. It's not going to matter because they are out of the playoffs. But here is Chris Jones.
What's the mood been this week? It was tough on Sunday, knowing you guys were out and so many guys got hurt and everything like that. What's it been like getting ready for this week and these last few games?
Most importantly, finish is strong. I mean, unfortunately, plans didn't go as planned within the season aspect, but, there's still a name on the back of your jersey you got to play for.
Do you think motivation will be an issue for this team these last 3 games?
No, it's still opportunities, man. It's still opportunities for you to broadcast, finish strong as an individual and together as a team from that perspective. So I don't ever need to be motivated when I step on the field,
Chris, how difficult has this year been for you just from an injury standpoint? We know you had to leave the game last Sunday due to the hamstring. I know you're dealing with the groin. Has this year been more difficult just trying to maintain your body throughout the course of the year?
Not at all. I've been very fortunate this year, especially with injuries. I think I got hit with a hamstring injury during the game because of a positioning off of a hit. But overall, I've been pretty good with the injury-wise this year.
When it comes to playing for the name on the back of the jersey, for you, what do you want to get done in these next 3 games, just personally?
Next year is still around the corner. I want to finish strong. Make sure the D-line finish strong with momentum going into next year. Unfortunately, we didn't make it what we wanted to this year, but that gives us room to improve next year. Success is rented every year. Every year you have to go out and earn it. Sometimes in life you don't get what you deserve, you get what you earn. So we didn't earn it this year, so it gives us the opportunity to finish strong and go into next year with momentum.
How much can a solid final 3 games do you think lead into success early for the defense next year?
I think it's huge, especially if we plan on building off of this with the young guys we have in the room. There's definitely some key points to where we can look at what type of talent we have and, something to build off of.
You find, for you personally, as being one of the older guys and a leader, that it's kind of your responsibility to get that message to the young guys who maybe haven't been through a stretch like this?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I think it's to preach the emphasis on how important it is to finish. You always want to finish strong, especially when you got training camp, preseason. You want to use that momentum to continue to prevail. So I think I play a huge part in how we're going to approach that and the mind frame and the mindset of that.
Chris, how weird is it then just to not have Pat around?
It's very weird. Pat usually the first one in the building, usually the last one out. We usually see each other when we're walking out, so it's been very weird. I hope my brother is doing okay. He's in good spirits. It's very unfortunate with the ACL, man, it's always tough. Injuries, you know, it's a part of the game, but we're praying for him.
Couple more.
I was going to ask you about the Titans, right? They got a rookie quarterback. What have you seen from them? Because the games are out here to play. What do you see from him and their offense on tape?
They've gotten better, a lot better, and their defense. But my boy Jeff is doing really, really good also. You know, he's gotten better since the coaching change. They tend to get the ball out. They've been scoring like 20 to 30 points in each of the last 3 games. So tell you the improvement they're making on offense, and they're making strides. The rookie, he's a special kid, has a heck of an arm, and very mobile in the pocket. I think he has that angry run of the week. Like, he's strong too, man. He don't want to go down. So, you know, it's going to be tough, you know, trying to bring him down, but we got to affect him some way, figure out how to win the game.
Last one, anyone? Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, there's Chris Jones. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling. More Zone next.
Missouri, we are live. FanDuel Sportsbook live in the Show Me State. They are kicking things off with such a great deal because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. And for existing customers, they always have great profit boosts going on all year long in pretty much any sport. Every time I check FanDuel right now, I'm actually on the Kansas side, but Missouri side, they have this as well. A little holiday thing where you click and you reveal your profit boost. I got a 50% one that I'm going to use for Thursday Night Football tonight. They do great things for Thursday Night Football. You know, first touchdown, last touchdown, you get that right. If you bet an anytime touchdown score, well, you get entered to win extra bonus bets. I mean, they just do great things on FanDuel, and it's always on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. I've been doing very, very well in basketball, quite frankly. You know, you've been listening to me. My football's not been good, but I showed Darcy in the break back there. He's shaking his head, nodding. Basketball, we're on a 6-game heater right now. That's what we're doing. Maybe next time I'll give you one. I don't have a basketball one for tonight, so next time you will get a basketball one. Maybe even tomorrow. So download FanDuel today or head over to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on all the excitement because Missouri. It's time to play your game with FanDuel.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. We will play some sports or leisure in the 1 o'clock hour presented by Johnny's Tavern, but heard a lot from the Kansas City Chiefs in the previous couple of segments. So Brennan Daly, Andy Heck, Connor Embry, Chris Jones, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Dave Tobe. Lots and lots and lots of people talking today about these final 3 weeks that only have a significant meaning for the players out there finishing out, playing strong, the competitiveness, and young players getting an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, growth obviously is a part, and just I even think the coaching staff, some of these guys are going to be on trial, if you will, to see if they'll adjust and if they change. I think Gardner Minshew's playing for the backup QB job for next year. I think Brashard Smith is trying to prove if what can he be? Can he be a 10 carry a game guy? Is he a 10 touch total a game guy? Is he a smattering here and there guy? Jalen Royal is trying to see, hey, is this a guy we can bring back next year, or do we need to bring back a veteran wide receiver a la Hollywood or Juju, right? Like, I think there's a lot of things to look. I mean, even Esapole, the last 3 games, was it a 2-game sample size that looked good?
Yeah.
Or is it a, hey, no, we think we can trust him as our swing tackle. We don't care where he was drafted. We don't care that he didn't play in high school.
Wasn't drafted.
that he was sorry that he went undrafted.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, we haven't had to do this since like 2012, so I know it's very hard for us. But I think back to like when I was in high school, and this is what I think about. Like, this is what we had to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm going to watch every game. I'm going to watch every snap. I'm going to overanalyze everything that I probably should not do.
As we should.
But we're going to do it. And what else am I going to do? Watch like the Jets or the Panthers or the Falcons? No.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. Or they can just go and sign Romeo Doubs, and get a guy who's a really good route runner and can beat man-to-man coverage.
Sure, but you still need to figure out if Jalen Royals can do any, Oh,
I know, yeah. I'm with you. It's like, if Jalen Royals can do it, then you don't need to bring back a Juju or a Hollywood.
Correct.
Which I don't think you're going to do anyway.
Sure.
Because it's time to sort of change that out anyway. And if you're going to bring somebody in, I would rather see now Dobbs may price himself out, and you might be only in the market of a Hollywood or a Juju price tag.
Sure.
And Dobbs might be 3 for $30, and then it's like, okay, you're paying $10 million a year, or you're paying $7.5 total for Juju and Hollywood, or $10 million for one guy. I'll take the one guy that's better, that can get open against man coverage.
And you can do that if you find out that Jalen Royals can take one of the other 2 spots.
Good call. Good call. Well done. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling, and more Zone right after this. Well, Missouri, your moment, it's finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is now live in your state. And now you can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more, all from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. If you are not in the fantasy football playoffs still for your league, the Chiefs aren't in the actual playoffs for their league, maybe not much to watch and root for. If you're in Missouri, now you can, because Missouri fans know game day, tailgates, noise, passion. And now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action, powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 810WHB. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
You're into sports, but nothing wrong with a little leisure time. Why not both?
You're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 40 if you don't learn to relax.
It's time for sports or leisure on The Zone with Jason Anderson.
All right, time for a little sports or leisure on this Thursday, 913-381-810, first in, first on. Playing for Johnny's Tavern, $25 to Johnny's Tavern is what we have for you. If you get a sports question and a leisure question right, then you win the game we call sports or leisure, 913-381-810 on this Thursday edition of the show. I have been a day ahead this entire week because tomorrow, not in, Sterling will be hosting the show and doing a damn fine job of it. And if not, then I'll be listening, so, be aware. Be
We'll see.
in the car, driving, and listening to every single word, taking notes, offering critiques at the end of the show.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad Jason's gone. What a better show today.
Thanks, Jim.
Rack 'em. Should I do the whole show? Should I do 4 hours?
Uh-huh.
Rugula. Bo Perbula.
Yes.
Gone. Rack 'em.
Yeah, you can do that, and also next week as well. So,
I forgot. I have like 6 days, 5 days.
5
no
days.
Christmas.
5 days. No Christmas Day show.
We're just going to talk about the birds and 12 Days of Christmas again for 5 days.
Although with me being gone next week, I am starting to lobby Chad and Todd to see if we can do a Christmas show. I mean, I won't be here for it, but I think
yeah,
I
you're a
think
sweetheart.
I think the listeners need it. They want it, man.
I'm
Come on.
lobbying for Christmas Eve off.
Come on, just all day. The Zone leading up to Chiefs and Broncos. Huge game.
Hey, Darcy, I
Massive
forgot.
game.
We're actually both gone next week. You're going to have to produce and host the show.
Oh, shoot. About that.
This is going to be so much fun.
You just, yeah, I mean, you got it. You did the show last night. You're good. All good in the hood, man. You can nail this.
4 hours all by myself and running it back here, too.
That's easy.
What's the worst that could happen? I mean, come on. The show isn't great. Come on. Sports or leisure, 913-381-810. I know we got some people on hold. You get the sports question and the leisure question. Here are the categories. On the sports side, we have NFL and we have Christmas names. These are names that have something to do with Christmas in their actual name, first or last name. Those are the categories today, because I don't think we're going to do sports or leisure next Thursday. That's up to you guys if you're doing a show or not.
Yeah, we won't be.
Okay, great.
We'll do riddles today. Riddles.
Uh-huh.
We'll do a few slogans. We have a few slogans left. And a new one, Die Hard Trivia. Woo.
So just Die Hard. Not a full Christmas movie thing, but just Die Hard?
Just the
Okay.
Christmas movie.
Yeah, well,
Die Hard.
Yeah, I get it. No, we are in agreement that it is absolutely a Christmas movie. And so you're going to do Die Hard as the Christmas movie category today.
They're not super hard, but because it's either like incredibly hard questions.
So they're die somewhat difficult.
They're
hard.
They're wounded hard.
Wounded hard.
It didn't have the same name to it. Wounded. I mean, because he
Wounded, somewhat
didn't
difficult.
die hard. Like McClane didn't die. He wounded hard.
Yeah, but Die Hard is a badass name, though.
Way better name. But if we're being honest,
if it was just like escape the terrorist,
dirty wife beater hard. The wife beater he wears, if you notice,
okay, yeah, that was
about halfway
right,
through.
I was wondering where you were going with that. That was very odd.
No,
name.
there's
'Cause
at
that
one
can be-
point it goes from white, and then it goes
yeah.
and it goes to like brown.
Yeah.
And like I get that it would be very dirty, but it wouldn't all just be the color brown. Like there would still be some splotches. I that's the part of the movie that I thought was unrealistic. Not the part where the guy got hung by a chain for like 12 minutes and somehow was still alive. Yeah.
One Night at Nakatomi Plaza was the other name they could have gone with.
Hans Booby.
You can just cut that last part, and that was in stereo for
That was
Sterling
nice,
and I. There we go. All right, I'm ready to play. Sterling, you good?
Jason
Booby.
Booby.
Michael, you ready? Huh?
I'm ready to go.
All right, ready to go. 913-381-810. We go to Tim, leading us off here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Tim, sports or a leisure?
Wow, I never thought I'd be the leadoff guy.
Well, there you go.
Geez,
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. Well, let's do sports. What were the categories?
We have NFL, and then we have Christmas names, athletes that have something to do with Christmas in their name.
Ooh. Any sport.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Let's go for it. What the heck? It's the season, right?
It is the season, as they would say.
Before I get disconnected, did someone get the slogan last week that I whiffed on, the choice of the new generation?
Yeah.
Or whatever,
Yep. Yeah, it was Pepsi.
Okay, so that's not left even in the slogan. Okay.
No. That was when you said it's definitely not Pepsi.
And then it was Pepsi.
It was Pepsi.
It was 100%
Do it.
absolutely Pepsi. So you were close in that you named it. You just offered the beginning part of it.
You're like,
not
it's
being that.
clearly
I
not
thought it was
Pepsi.
like Jeopardy, you know, you preface it in the form of a question.
Yeah,
or
it's definitely not
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Okay.
All right, so
I may have a hard time hearing you in this wind.
Okay.
But go ahead.
All right, very good. So here we go. This man played 12 years in the NFL, 10 of them with the Minnesota Vikings, making a couple of Pro Bowls. A second-round tight end out of Notre Dame. He was usually one of the first tight ends taken in your fantasy draft. He wore purple most of his career, but he'd be more identifiable if his nose was red.
Yeah.
Kevin Rudolph.
Looking for his brother.
Oh, yeah. What was his name?
Yeah.
But it was Rudolph, right?
Yep. Kevin is his brother. We need this guy, tight end for the Vikings.
Dang, I can't think of the other one. It was Rudolph, right?
Okay. Yep.
It's not Cartman Rudolph.
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's not Stan Rudolph either.
Nope, it's not.
Let's see. Kyle? No.
Yeah, Kyle. All right, great. That's right, Kyle. Kyle
You
Rudolph.
love the.
I
No,
know.
it's not Kyle. It's not him.
It's not Pepsi, and it's definitely not Kyle. But
And
you
it
said Kyle.
is.
So we're going with that. Over to Leisure with Sterling.
Riddles, Die Hard trivia, or slogans?
I guess no. You said you had a few slogans left. Are they ones I won't overthink and screw up?
We don't know.
They might be.
Don't know about your history and what you know and don't know.
And riddles. Maybe I should be daring and go with riddles.
Sure, do it. Let's do it. What do you want to do?
Let's go with it.
All
All right. Riddles. Forward, I am heavy. Backward, I am not. What am I?
Forward. Forward, I am heavy. Backward, I am not. Oh. Forward, I am heavy.
If you ever wrote this one out, you'd get it in a second.
Okay.
Maybe not a second.
Heavy. Lead? No. L-E-A-D. Forward, lead. Backward.
You're on the right track, Tim.
Lead is be deal. Or no, it would be nothing.
Forward, I am heavy. Backward, I am not.
Got it. All right. Dang. Why did it take me so long to do that?
Ton.
Yeah.
Hey, at the buzzer, Tim. Count it.
Win.
Yep, got it. Yeah.
Buzzer beater.
Nice job. Tim, we'll put
Nice
you on hold.
save, man. It
Yes.
just came to me like an epiphany.
There you go. We'll put you on hold to get your information. Congratulations, sir. Well done. All right, there you go. 9133-810-810. Why did it take?
What if I was like, you know
Ahead
what?
of
No,
myself.
buzzer had sounded. Sorry.
Sorry, dude. The
Yeah.
buzzer. We got to go to the replay.
It was still in your hands.
There it is. Still in your hand.
Still
man.
in your
Sorry,
mouth.
dude. All right, let's go to Avery next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Way to catch yourself, Sterling. Avery, next up, Sports or Leisure. Avery, what side do you want to start with?
I'll do holiday names.
Holiday names for you. Okay, let's go with this one. He played 13 years in the majors, most notably 8 of them in the American League Central, playing in a World Series.
John Garland.
We're looking for Judy. Sorry about that. Yes, Judy. We'll accept John, nicknamed Judy, but yes, John Garland. Well done. I was about to go into the next part of the question, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do that because that's going to
Yeah.
give it away for Avery. The next part was something you would wrap the staircase, mantle, or parts of.
Yeah, John Garland. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Good pull.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, you meant Avery. Sorry
Avery.
about that.
He didn't even do
Yeah.
the holiday part. You just gave him the question.
Yeah, but he knew that the last name or first name was
Sure,
part of Christmas.
fair.
So yes,
Correct.
so he was on the right track there. I gave him, that. All right, Leisure.
Riddles, Die Hard trivia, or slogans?
Oh, got to be Die Hard. He says Bubby though, right?
I always thought it was.
I like saying booby.
I do too. I thought it was Hans Booby.
I think it's Bubby. Yeah, I saw a holiday sweater with that guy on it.
Oh, dang. Well, that's a bummer. Well, that's less cool.
I think booby's better. Just me.
Yeah. Avery, why couldn't John find his wife's office at first in the directory?
Nakatomi Plaza new or something? What? Wow, that's a deep cut.
Not really. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it. So why couldn't John McClane find his wife's office at first in the directory?
This is a great question.
Yeah, you get it right, Darcy?
Yeah, great question. Though.
Darcy gets it. Thank you.
Okay, so she works at Nakatomi Plaza, but did he not know that she'd worked at a new building or something?
No, think about it. Think this through. It's not a riddle, but think about this.
It's ton.
Why couldn't John McClane find his wife's office at first in the directory?
Did he not know how to spell Nakatomi?
I do wish that was.
Each office had someone's name on it, right? He's in the right place.
Oh, she wasn't using McLean. She was using her maiden name.
Yes, and what was her maiden name?
Ton.
Oh.
You're fine. I'll give it to you. Yes, John McClane couldn't find his wife's office at first in Nakatomi Plaza because she was not.
I see what you're saying now. I was like, I don't remember looking through a phone book. Oh yeah, okay.
It was in the 80s they had this thing that was super high tech where it was like digitized on a screen. You look back and you're like, wow, that
so cool.
Looks like they probably had that in the 80s that they didn't need to actually make it seem like this was in the future.
And then Hans sees that William Clay, and he tells him his name's Bill Clay.
Oh my gosh! Okay, fine. Give away one of the other questions here.
That's what Avery does. You should have.
Avery,
you should have put him on hold.
Should have given you
that.
Bill Clay. Yeah.
Put him on hold before that.
Dang it, Avery.
We'll put you on hold and congrats, man.
Congrats for ruining another question.
Congrats.
Proud of you.
All right.
Well, I'll have a John Jolly Christmas, you guys.
Yes, you do the same, man. Enjoy your garland. Any type of it, man. Do what you got to do. All right. So, there we go.
Hans, Booby.
It's kind of Bubby and Booby combined. But again, I like to go with the Booby. I'm going to go with that one. So, it sounds cooler if you're saying it that. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue playing sports or leisure. 913-381-810. Winner drops off. That means phone line is open. 913-381-810. Sports or leisure. Giving away $25 to Johnny's Tavern. More Zone next. All right, men, if you're out there in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, older, younger, who knows, and you're wondering about low testosterone, maybe you've got some questions about maybe some symptoms that are going on that could be related to low T, well, then check out Heartland Men's Health. It is the season for the holidays, and there's a lot of stuff going on, which means that you are probably busy with schedules, and you need some energy around this time. And if you have some of those symptoms, which could be lower energy levels, maybe you're putting on weight, this would be the time that it really shows the season of gaining weight and presence and things like that. Or maybe you're just less productive when you are trying to lose the weight. Poor sleep, waking up feeling tired, a lot of things connected to these symptoms that are related to low testosterone. You can go to Heartland Men's Health, schedule a consult with them today, do your lab work with you, have your results within 30 minutes, and then a licensed medical provider will review your results with you, discuss your options, help you make the decision together with the medical team. Cost of the appointment, it's only $99. That includes a medical consult, T, and PSA test. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, that visit is free. You don't pay a dime. You can be back to having those higher energy levels, better gains in the gym, sleeping better, waking up feeling more refreshed, no more brain fog, maybe more productive at work, libido, all of those things connected to low testosterone. Heartland Men's Health successfully treating men in the Kansas City area, and they have continued to stay on the forefront, the cutting edge ways of helping men and their health all across the board. It's what they do. It is their life, and they continue to come up with new ways to do that. There are 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. This may be true or maybe it's not true. I don't know. But text comes in and says that Harry Ellis, the character Hans Booby, that he ad-libbed that line.
That's
and
awesome.
When Alan Rickman looks confused, like, what the hell is going on? That was his look because he didn't know what the hell he was talking about when he says, Hans Booby.
That's great. Also, apparently when they pushed him off of the...
or they let him go or
they let
whatever.
Hans off the thing. That...
was it an accounting thing or something?
Well, yeah, they were
like that?
supposed to do it on 3, and they did it on 2, so that way his actual, like...
Reaction
was
legit.
captured.
Like, oh my God, you let me go earlier. I thought it was going to go on 3. Do we go on 3 or is it 1, 2, 3 go or is it 1, 2, 3? Like, who knows? All right, let's head back to the phone lines. 913-381-810-810. Cajun next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Cajun, sports or leisure? What side do you want to start with?
Die Hard, and I say Booby.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Booby's better.
Hey, Cajun, what does...
Boobies make everything better.
Yes, right?
What does Argyle do in the movie?
He's the driver.
Yeah, he is. He's a limo driver. Yeah.
Well done, sir. On to the sports.
Can I do one real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Can I do like a Jeopardy one and try to see if one of your questions is like what is shoot the glass?
No, but that's a good one. I like that. That's a great.
Yes. It's so smart because he didn't have shoes.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, you don't have any shoes. You got to shoot the glass, man. That's great strategic ways of killing people.
Yeah,
like that is really strategic in how to inflict harm on somebody, and you got to be really good at inflicting harm to think of that. You know.
Yep.
It's a real veteran move by that guy. He's killed a lot of people in his life.
Yeah,
I mean, yes. Over to the sports side, Cajun. We've got NFL and we have Christmas names.
NFL is just like general stuff.
Yeah, it's just general NFL.
Christmas name, man.
All right, Christmas name for you. Let's go with this one. He was a one and done at UCLA before we kind of called the one and dones. He was drafted by the 76ers with the 17th overall pick. He won 2 NBA championships since leaving Philly, being acquired via trade by both teams that he won the championship with, helping Milwaukee get their second championship ever. And I don't know if he's still in the NBA or not. I need to check that out.
And I thought it was going to be NFL Christmas names.
Oh, I could.
Please substitute, or unless you want to.
I don't know that I have. I don't know that I have. I don't think I have an NFL name.
Well, I don't know it.
Well, he played for the New Orleans.
Christensen?
Well, he played for the 76ers. He played for the Pelicans for 8 years.
Pelicans.
He played for the Bucks.
Pelicans. I should know this. I was a Pelicans fan.
Yeah, he played from 2013 to 2020 for the Pelicans.
Holy crap!
Point guard.
I'm blanking, man. Don't waste time on
Point guard, wore number 11.
I'll take the L, buddy. Merry Christmas,
yes,
everyone.
you too, Cajun. You're the man.
All right.
Appreciate you, brother. 913-381-810-810. He'll hear the name and go, of course.
Of course.
Of course, yes. Let's go to John next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. John, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Oh, let's do a Christmas Die Hard question in leisure.
What does John carry through the airport?
John Kerry's in this?
Oh, what does he carry through the airport? Is a teddy bear?
It is a teddy bear.
Yeah.
It's a big-ass teddy bear.
Yeah. You know what? Can you throw that size teddy bear onto the ice on Saturday night at the Mavericks?
No.
Okay.
You
so
have to
is there a
go
certain
to
size
the
teddy bear?
KCMavericks.com and get it for Children's Mercy.
Okay. Because that, to me, that would be a question maybe some people have, is what's the size of teddy bear that you throw on the ice on Saturday?
It's fair.
Which is that sounds like an awesome thing to do, man. The teddy bear toss game on Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's really cool for the Mavericks. Over to the sports side, we have NFL and we have Christmas names. What are you thinking?
I think, is that Christmas name question just out there, the NBA?
Yes.
All right, I'll clean up the little bunny and take it's Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday. That is right. Drew Holiday. Yeah, he's with the Blazers right now.
Yep.
Drew Holiday. That's a winner. John, we'll put you on hold and get your information.
Wait,
Congratulations.
is this John
sir.
McClain?
Whoa.
John,
Or
are you
Kerry.
John McClain?
Or John Kerry.
No, I don't think
Okay, all right. John, we'll put you on hold. Congratulations. Well
maybe
done.
that tells us all we need to know.
Speechless.
No, well, maybe
you know
maybe
what?
he is.
If
That's
it was
what John McClain would say.
He wouldn't say he was on the air. You know
if the
what?
next guy calls in and is named Reginald, then we really know that this is...
Wow. That'd be crazy. Let's go to Reginald next up. Ben next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Playing for $25 to Johnny's Tavern. Ben, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Let's go with sports.
All right, we
NFL.
got NFL for you. All right, let's do this one. Let's see. What's on the docket tonight? You know what? Let's go with this one. Little Thursday night football. Maybe that's a little bit of a hint. Dak Prescott, when targeting George Pickens, has a rating of 122.2 this year. It's the second highest in the NFL. Which QB wide receiver combo has the highest quarterback rating this year?
And Pickens is number 2.
Yep, Pickens is number 2. It ain't a
Jefferson.
Cowboy. It's not a Cowboy, and Justin Jefferson
not a
is
Cowboy. It's got to be a Cowboy.
No, it doesn't have to be a Cowboy. It doesn't have to be someone that plays with
with
J.J.
Dak.
McCarthy either. Doesn't have to be somebody with Dak either. But I did say who's playing tonight. Maybe as a. So there's somebody having just an amazing season, like an incredible season.
Stafford too. Oh, I just can't think of it. I'm sorry. Yeah, if I had a little more time, which I don't. So, nevertheless, thanks for taking the call.
Ben, I appreciate you, brother. That's
Great
fun.
call. That was fun.
That was good. Ben's the man. 913-310-810.
Good for Ben.
Next up is Greg. Nope, that's not Greg. Next up is Greg.
They
Greg.
cut the lines.
The call is coming from in the house. Greg, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Let's go with leisure, please.
All right, we have Die Hard trivia, riddles, or slogans.
Let's go for a riddle.
All right, riddles.
Ton.
It has keys, but no locks. Space, but no rooms. You can enter, but can't go inside. What is it?
Can you say them again? A
Yeah.
but no lock.
It has keys, but no locks. Space, but no rooms. You can enter, but you can't go inside. What is it?
Oh, yeah. Got it. Yep. Yeah. All right.
I guess technically there could be a lock, too, if you get real technical with it. But keys with no locks.
No cap.
Space
that is,
with no rooms.
That is a true statement.
You can enter, but can't go inside.
When the kids
What
talk
is it?
about lying or telling the truth, that's no cap that there can be a lock.
Man, that's hard.
Once you think about it, you're going to be like, oh.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Greg, thank you for playing, man. 913-310-810. Let's go to Randy next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Mick's going to be so proud of us for the last couple of calls. Like,
Yeah,
hey, just everybody's
not everybody's
winning.
won. Yeah.
I think it's like 3 in a row, but we're going to break that streak right now because Randy is going to get a winner here. Randy, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Oh, let's start with sports.
All right, we've got NFL and we have some Christmas names that are out there.
Let's try Christmas names.
All right, Christmas names for you. Let's go with this one. This guy came out of nowhere for the Cleveland Guardians, signed out of the Dominican, and had his debut where he hit a ton of home runs. He is now DFA'd very recently. Nicknamed Big Christmas. Not a big Christmas for him this year.
I think he's also nicknamed Password.
No, that's a different guy, but...
a different guy.
I can even remember hearing this on a Royals game, but boy, I'm drawing a blank.
Big Christmas. Played for the Guardians.
Yeah, Big Christmas. I'm just going to throw out a name, Ramirez.
Well, no, there's a Christmas theme to it, so the name would have,
Oh, Noel.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I mean,
but
it is Noel. It's John Kinski Noel.
That's why I said it's also password, because I don't know how to spell it. Jan Kinski.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biblical spelling.
Okay.
Traditional spelling of Jan Kinski. Or Jan Kinski. It's Jhon, as most people would spell Jan. And then Kinsey. Kensy. I mean, it's how do you
write K in there too?
And then oddly enough, Noel.
Yeah.
Noel. Anyway, over to leisure.
Riddles. We have that one riddle currently out there. Die Hard trivia or slogans.
I love that he guessed a Christmas thing and just said, I don't know, Noel.
Yeah, nailed it.
I thought he got it wrong.
Yeah, I know. Mike is like, you're so dumb.
How about, what were the three options again? There's riddles.
Riddles, Die Hard trivia, and slogans.
Slogans.
All right, slogans. Tastes so good, cats ask for it by name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Meow Mix?
It is Meow Mix,
Yes,
yeah.
Nice job.
So cats do. I don't have a cat, but apparently if I did, that's what they would ask for by name.
Got another winner, Meow. Got one of those. All right, we'll put you on hold, Randy, and get your information. Congrats, sir.
Remember that coach that had the cats versus dogs?
Yeah.
Post game.
We need dogs.
We need dogs. Not any cats. Meow, meow.
You need some Melvin Councils out there.
Yeah.
Some dogs, some barking. Although, what did Bill Self say that he'll eventually grow from being a Chihuahua to a
Doberman?
No. He said a Shih Tzu. He said Melvin Council, like after the game on Tuesday. What did he say? He said eventually he'll grow from being a Shih Tzu to
Jackal. Jackal. The answer's Jackal.
It was pretty good, though. I wonder what Melvin Council's reaction is to that when he's doing the barking and saying that it's about dogs, and he says, Bill Self goes, you guys, you know he's doing that because you're doing exactly what he wants you to do with that. But maybe he'll grow to be from a Shih Tzu to, and I can't remember which dog he said. Anyway, 913-3810810. Let's go to Clayton next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Clayton, Sports or Leisure. What side would you like to start with, sir?
Let's go with sports.
All right, NFL and Christmas names.
Let's do NFL.
NFL. Okay, we got one out there about the quarterback rating, and then we have a couple of fresh ones.
Let's go fresh.
Okay.
I don't remember what the other one was.
Well, I can give you that one, and you don't have to take it, but in case people haven't heard it either, it's out there. Dak Prescott, when targeting George Pickens, has a rating of 122.2, the second highest in the NFL this year. Which combo of quarterback wide receiver has the highest? The hint we gave was I checked to see who was playing tonight to see if that had some sort of a connection with the answer here. So that's out there, or a fresh one.
Who was playing tonight was a hint?
It was a hint, yep.
Okay. I'll say Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Correct.
I thought it was
Darnold,
Stafford to Devontae Adams.
Sam Darnold to JSN, a 128.4 quarterback rating.
What is Stafford to Adams?
I don't know. Go
they
Google
have
it.
so many touchdowns.
Go Google it. Over to leisure with, I don't know, Sterling.
We have one riddle still out there. We have Die Hard trivia, and we have slogans.
By the way, well done, Clayton, on not just going Stafford to Puka.
Yeah,
because I would have said like Stafford to Puka or Stafford.
That was
to
my
Devontae.
number 3. My first one would have
Yeah.
been Stafford to Adams. Second was JSN
But
and
Darnold
Darnold.
to JSN, well done. Anyway, go ahead.
I'll say slogans.
All right, slogans. Crave those crazy squares.
That would be Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That sure enough is.
Nice job.
Crave them.
Nice job.
Crave those crazy squares.
Yes, you should. We'll put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations, sir. Well done. How about that? So just rocking out with some Johnny's Tavern for Christmas. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, number 1 in cereals, right? And then there's like a space between 1 and like 2. And then you can rank 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want. But it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, then a Gap, then number 2 in cereals. Everybody knows this. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone, hanging out and playing some sports or leisure. $25 at Johnny's Tavern. We're giving away one more segment to do that. More Zone next. All right, wrapping up a little sports or leisure here. We head back to the phone lines. Jeff next up on Sports Radio 810. Jeff, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Let's go Die Hard.
All right,
Yeah,
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
What snack was Reginald Johnson buying in the gas station?
Twinkies.
It was Twinkies.
Well done, man. Nice job, dude. All right, on to the sports side, we have NFL and we have Christmas names.
Let's go NFL, please.
NFL for you. Okay, let's go with this one. Travion Henderson has been a home run hitter for the Pats. He now has 4 touchdown runs of 50-plus yards. Oddly enough, those 4 runs came in 2 games where he had 2 different 50-yard runs each game. That is now tied with 2 other players for the most games of having 50-yard touchdown runs in history for a career, not just for a rookie. 2 different games. He's already tied. Name either of the players that have multiple games of multiple 50-yard touchdown runs. One is active. One is not.
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley, that is correct. He's the most recent one to do it. I was going to say one is not, but he has something
What
in
about
common.
was Chris Johnson one
Well
of them as
done.
well?
Chris Johnson was the other one. Nice job, dude. How about that? Saquon and Chris Johnson. And now Travion Henderson already, as a rookie in 14 games, has tied those guys. Over to leisure with Sterling.
You already got it.
And you're going over to talk to Michael Darcy with $25 to Johnny's Tavern. Jeff, well done. We'll put you on hold. How about that?
Merry Christmas,
Yes,
guys.
Hey, you
guys
too.
as well, man. We wrap things up with Bill here on Sports Radio 810. Bill, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with? Billy. Bill? Do we hear Bill? I thought I heard some. Hello? Bill?
Bill, can you hear us? If you can hear us, say yes.
Let's try this. Hold. Back on.
Bill, are you muted, sir? No, because I can hear you.
No, I'm not muted.
Oh, we got you. We got you,
We got
Bill.
him now. All right. Bill, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Sports, NFL.
All right. Josh Allen has accounted for at least 35 touchdowns in now 6 career seasons. Only 3 quarterbacks have as many as 6 different seasons of 35 touchdowns. You know what? Name any. And none of them played in Kansas City.
Steve Young.
It is not Steve Young. Bill, thank you for playing. That wraps up sports or leisure questions we did not get an answer to. That one. The quarterbacks that have as many as Josh Allen or more. He has 6. Tom Brady has 7. Aaron Rodgers has 7. And Drew Brees has 6. And then the Christmas names, we got answers to every one of the Christmas names that were out there. Any leisure that are still out there?
What building does Die Hard take place in?
Nakatomi Plaza.
What is the name of the main bad guy?
Hans.
Hans what?
Ferdinand.
Gruder?
MacGruber.
Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber, yes.
Hans Gruber. Who played Hans Gruber?
Oh, Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, yeah.
All right. That's it?
I left the easy ones for the end. But,
For me, thank you. I appreciate
the
it.
Twinkie one I thought was good. And
Yeah, no, that was a good
How
one.
did he
Twinkies
get
are good.
How did he get the attention of Reginald?
Shooting him. Hans!
No, he threw the body out onto the car.
Booby!
By the way, can we talk about the fact that, like, there were gunshots going on when he called the cops the first time? The cops were like, "Sir, this is a line. Please don't call again unless this is an emergency."
Yeah.
Like,
it's true.
What was that cop? What was the dispatcher doing?
Or in Home Alone when the guy just knocks once and then leave. Tell her to count her kids again. There's nobody here. Thanks, officer. Hey, you guys have a good Christmas, all right?
You too.
Yes.